to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They say the case is shaky. It's cloudy and 39 downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:02. The defense team for the Delphi murder suspect, Richard Allen, have released a statement. Donnie Burgess explains.
Essentially, Allen's legal team says many of the details in the probable cause affidavit can be refuted or downright proven untrue. Attorneys Brad Rozzi and Andrew Baldwin also claim Allen did everything an innocent man should do over the last 5 years, including coming forward to police in 2017 with his own statement. Prosecutors say ballistics and eyewitnesses put Allen at the scene. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A person shot and killed this morning on the south side. It was near Hannah Avenue and Bluff Road. No info on what led up to the shooting or who the shooter was. A couple of standoffs throughout the state overnight and also the last 24 hours. First in Jennings County, where a man was shot and killed. He actually killed himself, where he holed up 4 other members of his family. They held him hostage. Well, Corey Jenkins was a fugitive, wanted on several felony warrants. Then in South Bend, a man said to have shot a woman holed up in a home for 3 hours.
They were having communication with that individual, but that line of communication eventually broke, and the officers used a chemical agent to get inside the home, and the standoff is now over.
South Bend Police spokeswoman Ashley O'Chap. The man was arrested. The woman he's accused of shooting is alive in the hospital. Drunk driving was the charge against a former Beech Grove basketball coach. Now Michael Renfro is pleading guilty to that charge. He was pulled over in Henry County back in August. As part of the plea deal, charges of possessing and dealing cocaine have been dropped. The sentence is 1 year suspended plus a year of probation. Just like the men did this week, the Indiana Hoosier women took on 6th-ranked North Carolina on Thursday and came out on top.
Our chemistry obviously has come together nicely and quickly, probably quicker than I thought it could.
Head coach Terry Morin, the Hoosiers knocked off the Tar Heels 87-63 inside of Assembly Hall in Bloomington. Indiana is the number 5 team in the nation. Traffic on the 5s, Matt Baer.
All right, Kurt, looking at the southeast side, and it's still in rough shape here at the moment. First, we have a crash northbound 465 at 74 blocking the left shoulder. That has traffic slow back to Emerson Avenue. Then right after that, about a mile up the road, crash northbound 465 at Brookville Road. The off-ramp's partially blocked. The right shoulder is blocked. A couple of semis involved in this. Traffic is stopped to I-74. Traffic sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store, staplesconnect.com. I'm Matt Baer with Traffic on the 5s. Follow us on Twitter at WIBC Traffic.
Family Dollar has everything you need to enjoy this holiday season even more. Find a variety of Betty Crocker baking items for less than $5 so they won't break the bank. Add some color to the festivities with pre-lit trees from $15 and stylish ornaments 3 for only $3. And to celebrate with the little ones, find hundreds of toys for $15 or less. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Some people like their morning coffee for the rush. But savoring that creamy, sweet McCafe is your signature move for making that morning rush slow way down.
'Tis the season. Download the app for a free McCafe, like a peppermint mocha, with a minimum $2 purchase. Offer valid through December 4th at participating McDonald's. Valid once per day. McD app download and registration required.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Cloudy skies today. It's going to be windy and warm. May see gusts this afternoon near 40 and 50 miles per hour. Highs near 51. Cloudy, windy with a few scattered showers overnight. Temperature staying steady in the upper 40s near 50. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
39 and cloudy on Monument Circle. I'm Kirk Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Friday, December 2nd. It is 7 minutes after 9 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So, Rob Kendall, you are taking Monday off. So, here's what I need from you.
Yes.
I need you to leave it all on the field today,
sure.
okay? Get it all out of your system. Yeah. All right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Good morning. We start the show off talking about Kanye West today, or Ye. He nearly had a mental breakdown live on the air with Alex Jones. He was spewing hate against Jewish people and also praising Hitler and Nazis.
Okay, so I was thinking about this driving into work this morning, and I actually think this segment we're about to do is going to be very important for a lot of people, because I think what has happened to Kanye West, it is very easy for many people to have happen in their own lives. And let's play the audio yesterday, and then I want to do a little bit of a deep dive on this, because I think what has happened to Kanye West is a very scary thing, and I think it is easy for it to happen to many people. Let's play the audio.
I thought, that's right. You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. I love everyone, and Jewish people are not going to tell me you can love, us, and you can love what we're doing to you with the contracts, and you can love what we're pushing with the pornography. But this guy that invented highways, invented the very microphone that I use as a musician, you can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good. And I'm done with that. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler. How about that one? Ari Emanuel, how you like that one? Hey, Ron, you going to do anything to fix Chicago?
The most Nazi-like activities I've seen, and the Nazis, in my view, were thugs that shook people down, did a lot of really bad things.
Well, they did good things, too. We're going to stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
Okay. You said he loved Hitler. They gave him an award. I'm just saying, I don't like Nazis, and I don't like what some of the mafias are doing either.
I like Hitler.
Okay. So what has happened to Kanye West, and it is very easy in an industry, it is very easy, especially in an industry in which your persona becomes your lifeblood. And what I mean by that is whatever the public perceives you as, if the public gets drawn to that and that becomes the way in which you monetize your existence, it is easy to lose separation between the caricature or characterization of yourself and what you actually are as a human being. And I think, Casey, if you will indulge me for a minute, this is what's happening with Kanye West. And what I mean by this, and I'm going to pull a pro wrestling term out. How about that? 9-10, and I'm pulling out a pro wrestling term. There's a phrase, work yourself into a shoot. And what it means by that is pro wrestling is what they call a work, right? Like the two guys are working together to create what you see in the wrestling arena, the storyline behind it. Clearly, if one person did not want to participate, you could not do the maneuvers, et cetera, that it takes to do a professional wrestling match.
It's a choreographed dance.
Right. But you will see this, and pro wrestling is the most prevalent place, in which a person will get so into the character or storyline that the work, the made-up thing that takes choreographing
in the ring,
right, becomes a reality. Like you get so into the storyline or you get so into your character that you somehow, and I know people are driving the road going, this sounds utterly ridiculous. It is common. It does happen. And it happens in entertainment too, where you lose sight of what is real and what is not. And I think in the sense of Kanye West, he made such an exorbitant amount of money and he has garnered such fame and fortune off the premise of what is real and what is not with this guy, that he has pushed that character or that or this self-created thing on, wow, this guy's a little off, and what is he going to say next? That he has wrapped himself up in that to a point where he has gone past, oh, this is interesting, this is entertaining, and he has pushed it to the max where he has now ruined his career, he has ruined his life, he has ruined his brand. And I think it's a very serious thing because I don't think he knows how to get out of it at this point.
Right. Well, he was clearly erratic, nonsensical, hateful. He was dressed with his face fully covered by a mask. I mean, was that even Kanye? Who's to say? But back in 2016, he was persuaded by authorities to check into the UCLA Medical Center after suffering from hallucinations and paranoia. And the initial episode was described as temporary psychosis. So, in a sense, Trump was right. He's not well. It sounds to me very much like a bipolar episode, like he's having a manic episode. And it is somewhat reminiscent of what Charlie Sheen went through, what Britney Spears went through early in his career, what Robert Downey Jr. experienced for a while. And at first, I used to think that he did it just to be shocking and outrageous, that it was an act.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I don't believe this is an act anymore. He felt wronged by so many people that he started lashing out at everybody, and he has to completely hit rock bottom, which I think we're all witnessing, until something is going to happen. I feel that Nick Fuentes, this guy is kind of being very parasitic towards him and has his hooks in him.
That's an interesting take. And, I've said for years, I thought Kanye West was interesting because when I was a kid, one of the people that I really admired was Andy Kaufman, the comedian. And I admired him because this is a guy who's been dead for 40 years, and yet nobody to this day still fully understands what was real and what was not with him. And he had an immense ability to hold people in the palm of his hand and collectively leave them guessing up to and including in his death, and to the point now where 40 years later, there's people who still don't believe he's dead, right? I mean, I always thought that was just an incredible ability to basically mind screw people, and I thought that was immensely talented. And I thought there was some of Kanye West where it was the same thing. Like I would look at him and go, clearly there, from an artistic standpoint, the guy is incredibly talented. Clearly from a business standpoint, the guy has a brilliant mindset to be able to take his art and turn it into a fortune. And I always thought with him, he is screwing with people the same way Andy Kaufman used to screw with people, where you never knew what was real and you had to watch next. The problem becomes, and we see this a lot in entertainment, and you laid it out with people like Charlie Sheen or Britney Spears, you get so wrapped up in not only I have to keep the audience guessing, but I have to continually one-up what I did before so the audience will keep needing to guess. And I think, like in the 1970s and 80s when Andy Kaufman was thriving, there was no social media, right? It was very easy for him to create these characters or create these fixed professional wrestling matches or the Tony Clifton stuff or, angering people on Saturday Night Live or whatever, Fridays where he goes off script. And you could do it in a box, and then you could go away for a while, and then 3 months later the guy pops back up, and now it's something else. In the social media era, where we have the attention span of a gnat and the 24/7 news cycle, I would imagine a guy with some serious mental issues like a Kanye West gets totally warped and wrapped up into, I have to continually keep one-upping myself, and then it leads to something beyond ridiculous like this.
It's very much like a drug addict.
Yeah. That's great. That's a great example.
Keep consuming more and more to get to that same level of high.
Yeah.
And where does it end?
And you can speak to this and I can speak to this. In the entertainment industry, if you go down that rabbit hole, right? If you go down that rabbit hole, it is a very dangerous world because you've got to be able to leave the character. Whatever character you play or you create or you have fun with, you have to be able to leave that at the door whenever you check out of your entertainment world. Because if you bring that person home with you, you can get swallowed up and you end up like this.
You're no longer playing a part. You become the part.
Yeah. When we come back, we've got more, this audio, because Nick Fuentes was on with Kanye West.
Yeah, he sat there at the table during the InfoWars show.
And he laid out how he got in that dinner with Trump, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah, we'll get to that next from 93 WIBC.
Hopes are high for IU Hoops with one more run for Trace Jackson Davis and Race Thompson and Xavier Johnson and promising newcomers like CJ Gunn and Jalen Hood-Schifino. And IU basketball lives here. IU heads to New Jersey to take on Rutgers. Tomorrow, pregame at 3, tip-off at 4. On your home for IU basketball, 93 WIBC.
Do you plan on living on a more liberating budget than Social Security is going to provide when you retire? Do you know how to make Social Security work best for you with your other investments?
Singer Financial is a strategic wealth management and financial planning partner that helps aspiring retirees plan, dream, and get that life that they want in retirement. Singer Financial specializes in strategizing and equipping you to bring you the visions for retirement to life. Singer Financial can help you make the next chapter of your life whatever you want it to be. Go to singerfinancialgroup.com or call 317-852-9153. That's 852-9153 and learn how the Singer Financial Group helps people just like you pursue your vision of the good life in retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Your love isn't confined to an Advent calendar. It doesn't stop when the Christmas lights come down. With the Salvation Army, your love lasts all year long. It puts a present under someone's tree today and a roof over someone's head tomorrow. It brightens Christmas morning and the hardest nights for hardworking families. Together, we love beyond Christmas. Give $25 a month to support local families all year long at SalvationArmyIndiana.org.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Getting hit by a car is catastrophic. I know. I've suffered through 8 grueling surgeries after my wreck. I'm attorney Darryl Isaacs the Hammer, founder of Isaacs & Isaacs Personal Injury Lawyers. If you've been injured in a car wreck, our team will fight to get you every dollar you deserve. We've recovered over $1 billion for our clients, and we're ready to fight for you. Go to WeWin.com for a free case evaluation. Just click and get help quick. Go to WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com.
Today, people are looking for food products that are both nutritious and sustainable. And that's why, more than ever, Indiana's pig farmers are working to make pork a leading sustainable protein by caring for their animals and the environment with the highest ethical standards. The truth is, sustainability adds value for those who buy pork and builds a better future for those who grow it. Learn more at porkcares.org. Brought to you by Indiana's pig farmers.
Crew Car Wash books make the perfect holiday gift, and right now buy 4 Ultimate Washes and get 2 free, available online or at any Crew Car Wash location.
Pierce Jewelers has a spectacular array of diamond earrings, diamond pendants, diamond rings, and diamond bracelets. They shop the world to bring you the very best. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
He's just a little crazy.
He's a little crazy. And Casey Daniels.
Oh, man, she's fascinating.
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And taking a look at some trending stories this morning. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the official trailer for the 5th installment of Harrison Ford's whip-cracking adventurer is being released. The movie is scheduled to be released on June 30th, and it features a de-aged Harrison Ford back as Indiana Jones.
What does that mean, a de-aged?
Well, they've taken their magic of Hollywood.
This is like what they did with the Robert De Niro and
made him young again.
That movie, The Irishman.
Yes. They make him look young again in the movie.
I hate this because here's the thing.
Yeah.
And the to quote the famed poet Eminem as he was writing about about Moby one time, "You're too old. Let go. It's over."
So you're not excited about the new Indiana Jones movie?
No, none of these ever work out well, right? I mean, again, I think we've asked this question before. Other than The Godfather, I don't know. Is there any any other movies come to mind where you say, "Wow, that sequel was really incredible"? I mean, there's some phenomenal first movie. Oh, here he comes.
The Fast and the Furious.
Well, you're just ready to fight today, aren't you?
I think the National Treasure sequel is pretty good.
Okay.
Nicolas Cage, he's done well.
Yeah.
You liked Book of Secrets?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, okay, that was all. It was all right.
Also, another one, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Sorcerer. Yes. Wait. No, it was Chamber of Secrets.
I think Harry Potter got better as it went on.
Yeah, it got better.
It's okay, but it's very rare. Can we agree? It's very rare you get even 2 really good movies out of a series, much less what is this, number 5?
Yep.
6?
Yeah, 5.
I mean, dude, what is he? Is he 80? He's got to be 80. Harrison Ford's got to be 80 years old.
It's pretty close if he's not there.
Kevin, while she's going through the rest of this, can you confirm if Harrison Ford is 80 years old?
Also trending, President Biden is set to meet with the royals. Prince William and Princess Kate, they are in Massachusetts today. Biden's going to travel and go to the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers phone bank. And while he is in Boston, he's scheduled to meet with the royals at the John F. Kennedy Library and Museum this afternoon. And finally trending, it is Candle Day at Bath and Body Works. It's the 11th year in a row that they've done this. It's today and tomorrow. During the event, all of their 3-wick candles will cost $9.95 instead of the usual price of $25.50.
Kevin did confirm Harrison Ford is indeed 80 years old. And I would like to say, Casey, because you strike me as someone who might enjoy a good candle.
Yes. The 3-wick candles are lovely.
There is, if you take Interstate 70 and you just head east, there is a gigantic candle shop off the Spiceland exit or near the Spiceland exit that you would absolutely love. You could spend a whole day in there.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's incredible. Okay. And it's Christmas time, so I'm sure they got all their Christmas decorations up and stuff and things that you can purchase.
Is that the gift you give someone when you don't really know what to give them?
Yeah, it's probably universal, right?
Yeah, universal. Here's a candle. I thought of you, but I didn't really know.
I knew enough about you to get you a candle. But yes,
exactly.
I forget what the name of. Someone's probably shouting at the radio right now. There's a gigantic candle-ish shop off. Like it is like one of those like firework factories, but for candles and all sorts of other home decor that women like. And you could spend a whole day in there.
That women like. Okay, do we want to get to Nick Fuentes?
Yes, let's play this audio just real quick. So Nick Fuentes was on with Kanye West on Alex Jones yesterday, and obviously the Kanye stuff was getting all the attention. But Nick Fuentes actually spelled out how he got into this meeting with Donald Trump and how a blatant, racist, anti-Semite, bigot, hater of Jewish people, like this still floors me, and I think this is just as amazing as anything Kanye said.
So I was told that I may not even be able to get through. Well, we pulled up to the club. They checked out they checked out Karen's ID and information. We drove up, we walked in, we sat down in the lobby. The president came out of the dining room, and that was that. He invited Ye to dinner, and I don't know if it was Ye or Trump, but one of them said, well, we want to bring Jamar, Karen, and Nick into the dining room. And so we came in, we sat down. Well, we took some pictures. Ye sort of lit up the whole room. Everybody wanted to get a picture with him. We sat down at the table. And I want to say initially it was a very pleasant dinner. Trump gave kind of the standard black voter pitch. He talked about the HBCUs, the opportunity zones, things like that.
And then he goes on. I mean, it's a whole long thing. I wish we could have played the whole, because there's like 3 minutes of him talking about it. But it is perplexing that a former president, that a guy like this could just waltz right in and hang out with a former president, given all the security that is associated with that, and not only a former president, but a guy who is once again running and is still probably, at least as of this moment, probably not for much longer, but at least as of this moment, the front runner for his party's nomination.
Yeah, Kevin McCarthy said, I don't think anybody should be spending any time with Nick Fuentes. He has no place in the Republican Party. And during that broadcast, Kanye West was daring Elon Musk to ban him from Twitter. And he said that he was going to allow Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones to handle his Twitter account for the rest of the day. They both tweeted something out on behalf of Kanye West, and actually Elon did ban him. And I'm wondering, was that because he wanted to suppress his speech, or was that a show of compassion from Elon Musk because he wants Kanye to disengage from the Matrix?
Well, obviously he posted was the Star of David and then the Nazi symbol merged into one, and they said that was whatever they call it, inciting violence or whatever. And we can get into that later too, because I think the whole inciting violence thing is largely just become ridiculous now at this point. What is or is not inciting violence? But this is why Trump can't be the nominee, right? And we got a new poll out showing more and more people. We can talk about that next. That are showing more and more people are quickly coming to that conclusion, because if Trump and Trump's orbit are so chaotic and unorganized that this guy can not only get a meeting, but a meet and greet and a meal and everything else associated with the president, that shows his vetting process. It shows his picking process. And we can't have that anymore.
And Trump's lawyer said that it was a setup. These guys are coming in for a setup. Very interesting.
You know what we can't have, though?
Yeah.
It's the news.
Is Nick Darling back?
Nick Darling? Who the hell is Nick Darling?
I'm looking at Nick Fuentes.
It's Kurt Darling's alter ego,
Just
his
to
evil
be clear,
twin.
my name is not Nick Fuentes. It is Kurt Darling.
Yes, we're well aware of that. Thank goodness. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and the news is up next.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about Orgovix.
Orgovix Relugolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact: Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
Hey, good morning. It's Casey, and I'd like to share with you what people are saying about Galaxy Concrete Coating. John said, great company to work with. I had a very positive experience, and they were timely and completed the job in 1 day as promised. Bob said they did our screen porch and patio and did a fantastic job. Great workers, great product. Danny said, I did my garage floor and patio in the summer of 2020. Absolutely loved the job that was done. I highly recommend the company. You'll be amazed, too, when you call them 317-751-9070. It's Galaxy Concrete Coating. Find them online, galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
By listening to WIBC, you'll learn how to create a secure income plan that is sustainable throughout retirement from Crown Haven Wealth Advisors. Tune into WIBC this Sunday from 9 to 10 p.m.
Denny Smith for Sundown Gardens. Lots of Christmas decorations still on display at Miss Mary's Gift Shop. 20% off daily. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road. SundownGardens.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Dodging a bullet. Cloudy and 40 degrees downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. A bill to prevent a rail strike is on its way to President Biden's desk. Senators voted 80-15 Thursday in favor of the bill that the House passed on Wednesday. Biden and congressional leaders stressed forcing the agreement through was a necessary move to avoid a major blow to the economy. When it comes to avoiding a government shutdown, though, Indiana's Republican Senator Mike Braun says that it's best to focus on the short term and not the long term.
This is based on when I got here 4 years ago, $18 trillion in debt. Now we're $31 trillion. So we're running $1.5 trillion deficits annually with this kind of nonsense.
He tells Fox News that Congress needs to pass a short-term spending deal to avoid the shutdown by December 16th deadline, but to wait on a long-term spending plan. NASA's Orion spacecraft is about to make a final pass by the moon before returning to Earth. The Orion capsule has spent the past 15 days traveling into deep space, making an unprecedented trip beyond the moon. The spacecraft is expected to take a final lap around the moon Monday morning, and then it's scheduled to splash down in the Pacific Ocean off of San Diego December 11th. And now the stock report. We are in the red big time to start the day. The Dow is down 382 points to 34,047. The Nasdaq down 224 to 11,839, and the S&P 500 down 55 to 4,026. I'm Kurt Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It's Terry Stacy for Exercise Inc., the 20-minute once-a-week workout. And joining me now is Tim Murphy, who's been an Exercise Inc. client for 8 years. And Tim, this journey of yours actually started because you wanted to lose weight.
Terry, that's absolutely right. That was my initial goal. But what happened is in addition to the weight loss, is the increase in strength, the increase in muscle mass, and just the general improvement in overall health. It's really changed every aspect of my life.
And that's thanks to the help of a coach.
It certainly is. When I first went to go see Kyle, I knew right away that we were going to be working well together. He keeps me focused, grounded, and keeps me responsible for my goals. So I couldn't do it without him.
Exercise Inc. has changed your life.
It certainly has.
And Tim, how much weight have you lost?
It's been 82 pounds, and it's all still gone.
That's amazing! You can feel better too and lose weight and get stronger and improve your health. Just 20 minutes once a week. Exercise Incorporated, 4 locations. Visit exerciseinc.com.
Butler Ballet presents their holiday tradition of Tchaikovsky's The Nutcracker, accompanied by the Butler Ballet Orchestra and Indianapolis Children's Choir. Join Butler Ballet and revel in the magic and spectacle of live ballet. Spectacular dancing, beautiful costumes, glorious scenery, and pyrotechnical flash. Catch this holiday classic December 1st through the 4th at historic Clues Memorial Hall. Tickets and more information at butlerartcenter.org.
Hey, Dr. Elsperman. I believe one of the best ways to invest in a community is to encourage participation in high school sports.
I agree, Paul. High school sports can play a tremendous role in student athletes obtaining their first degree in life, a high school diploma. Ivy Tech Community College also plays a role by serving more than 70,000 Indiana high school students who are earning college credit while finishing high school.
High school athletics are all about setting students up for success in the classroom and in life, and that's especially important, considering less than 7% of student athletes play sports in college and even fewer receive scholarships.
At Ivy Tech, thousands of high school students complete their freshman year of college or first industry credential, giving them a head start on college and careers.
We appreciate the support of partners like Ivy Tech who invest in our student athletes, their education, and our communities.
This is championing education. This is investing in your community. This is your IHSAA.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
These chicks don't even know the name of my band, but they're all.
So there was a new poll released from YouGov and The Economist, and the new poll is about the presidential race 2024.
This song.
You're jamming over there.
It's just so stupid, but it's so great.
Eminem's very influential.
No. We're waiting to have that conversation until later. Don't start it up again, Kevin. But this YouGov Economist poll says that Donald Trump's eldest son is ahead of Vice President Mike Pence in the poll.
Okay, so there's 2 things in this poll that make me smile. One is the continued rise of Ron DeSantis. DeSantis now rapidly closing in on Trump. 30%. Trump has 36. DeSantis has 30. I would say after the last couple days, if that poll were taken now,
it would change.
It would be probably flipped. I mean, I think we are just about to the point we are done here in this conversation. I mean, the Trump thing is just wholly ridiculous. But what is newsworthy, because I've said this for years now, that Mike Pence and his people live in their own little world on Mike Pence's opportunity to continue to scale the political ladder. Mike Pence was a guy who was about to be thrown out with the trash in 2016 and was going to lose to John Gregg. And Trump saved him, and that's how it works sometimes. We don't pick the best. We pick the person that might help us the best, and Pence was a good help to Trump. But the Pence people live on Fantasy Island when they think that Mike Pence has any shot to ever be president of the United States. They totally misread how he is judged. They totally misread his ability. They totally have him convinced that he has this just that he can single-handedly connect with people like anyone else. And this poll, I love this, as Donald Trump Jr. ahead of Mike Pence.
Right. So Mike Pence was at that New York Times deal book, and he didn't share the stage, but some of the other guests speaking at the summit included Sam Bankman-Fried and also Zuckerberg and Vladimir Zelensky. But Pence was repeatedly asked to talk about the January 6th events, and he just refused to talk about it. And he recently told Fox News that he's giving prayerful consideration to running. So it's interesting that they're polling him, but he has yet to officially announce that he's running for president.
Well, he's going to run because he has nothing else to do. Now, again, if he were getting sage advice, the people around him, the gravy train people, I mean, and this is what people need to understand. Mike Pence has been surrounded for basically 30 years now by what I call the gravy train people, by the people who recognized, because look, 30 years ago, Mike Pence, you know, when he was here, he was a rising star. Certainly when he first elected to Congress, he looked like a guy that had future presidential front-runner candidate, whatever, written all over him. And these people have hitched their wagon for 30 years now to Mike Pence, and they recognize, well, what are we going to do if he fades away? And so they've got him convinced, hey, you got to run, man. There is a path for you. Here's the path, blah, 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 whatever. And I know the people, and I know the names, and I know the advice they're giving him. The problem is that the best thing for Mike Pence would be to not run and go away for a while. Because if Mike Pence disappears and Trump's the nominee or DeSantis or whoever and it doesn't work out, then you walk back out and say, hello, here I am. I'm the porridge is too hot over here. The porridge is too cold over here. The porridge is just right.
Yeah.
And you have an opportunity to become potentially in 4 years the face of the Republican Party if the dominoes fall your way. He has no chance to win this primary. It doesn't matter whether it's Trump, DeSantis, Nikki Haley. Mike Pence is loathed by a huge portion of Republican voters. And I know the people around him are not telling him this. I know they're showing him or telling him what he wants to hear. But maybe the best thing is for him to run this time, and then we can finally be done with him. Because I've said I would pay a sizable amount of money to see Mike Pence and Ron DeSantis Mike Pence and Donald Trump on a stage together.
And speaking of Donald Trump, the House Ways and Means Committee granted access to 6 years of his tax returns, and that was due to that Supreme Court ruling. So why does it matter if we see Donald Trump's tax returns?
It doesn't matter. The only thing they're going to prove with this is that he's not technically as rich as he says he is. And that will, in Trump world, humiliate him. And they know that. Now, what's interesting is Trump basically admitted to this years and years ago in his the financial disclosure you have to do in order to run for president. And I don't know why this remains a big deal. Trump admitted in that filing, because it's obviously a legal document and you could get in big trouble if you lie about it, that much of his wealth is what he values his name at the time. And what I mean by that is the more things Trump can monetize his name for, the more valuable his name is, the more valuable he asserts his net worth is. So, you know, when he was running for president, when he first declared, when he was doing Apprentice, obviously, whether it's putting his name on wine or steaks or hotels or whatever, there's a huge premium for that. He calculated much of his net worth was based on that. Trump is probably not an actual billionaire, certainly not now after all these years of not being in the business world. And so they'll be able to, I guess, prove that. But the Democrats keep acting as though no one has seen these tax returns, like they've been locked, like they were the Dead Sea Scrolls or something. The IRS looks at his taxes every single year. So what are we led to believe? Essentially what the Congress is trying to say, the House Democrats are trying to say is, well, the IRS is so inept that It's there. They just can't see it, and we're going to find it.
Mm-hmm.
No, Donald Trump is scrutinized at the wazoo every single year. And trust me, if he were cheating on his taxes,
we would have heard about it by now.
We'd all know about it.
Yeah. Andy Biggs says that the House is going to leak those tax returns.
The real thing is to go after Donald Trump, and that's what this has always been about. I mean, they've gone after every aspect of President Trump's life since the day he rolled down the escalator and decided and announced he had decided to run for president. This is just one more avenue to go after him, and they're looking for anything they can. You've got criminal investigations that have gone on for years. You've had investigations in Congress, and this is just one more attack on President Trump.
They say they're meeting to decide what to do with them. Do you think we'll see them leaked, or do you think they'll just go on the record and share these? I mean, usually tax returns are sacred and usually not made public at all.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't surprise me if they get leaked. Don't forget, this is the same crew that said that he was bankrupt and had no money, and then it came back and it turns out he was doing very well, and they said, well, oh yeah, see, he's too rich. I mean, that's what goes on. They're just attacking him constantly.
And I think the other thing they will look to do with these tax returns is try to aid the case being made in New York that Trump fibbed on these bank statements, whatever, in order to secure loans. So I think there's a two-pronged approach to this.
Now, he's talking about them being leaked. I mean, it seems like everything is leaked now.
Absolutely.
And it's all for political gain. But the leaking kind of gives the American people a little bit more transparency.
Right.
Like half the stuff we may not have ever heard of or known.
Well, look, Trump made his own bet on this because a candidate for president or the president of the United States should release their tax returns. Do you have to? No. Should you? Yes. Should you give the American people some semblance of assurance that, whatever. I mean, not look at Biden. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you actually release them or not, but in our little world we live in, we sleep better at night, I guess, if someone throws their tax return out there. The problem with Trump is he's the best at everything, he's the biggest at everything, and in reality, he's not. He's still a really rich guy, he's still really successful, but by his own ridiculous standards, he will probably be disproven to be the richest, most bestest, most whatever at everything.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and Mike Braun making news this week, and we're going to discuss that coming up from 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show, top stories of the day, and beer sample Friday. Abdul, Dan Dockich. We got a show, 3 to 7, 93 WIBC.
The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey,
5.6%.
Hammer and Nigel, podcasts. Listen to the station live whenever, wherever, online at WIBC.com.
You wouldn't leave your health to chance. Doesn't your financial well-being deserve the same care and attention? It's time to get a complimentary wealth checkup from Edelman Financial Engines. We're Barron's #1 rated independent financial advisory firm 5 years running. So you can be confident you're getting integrated wealth management advice, including tax planning, estate planning, insurance, and more from an experienced and trusted investment advisory firm. Take advantage of a complimentary wealth checkup with a planner who puts your needs first. There's no sales pressure and no obligation, just trusted guidance to help get your investment goals back into focus. When it comes to your financial well-being, you can count on the top-rated independent financial advisory firm in the nation. Visit Edelman Financial Engines at EFEWealthPlanners.com. That's EFEWealthPlanners.com. Barron's rating awarded annually each September 2018 through 2022. Compensation paid for distribution of rating.
There's only one you, and you only have one heart. That's why Franciscan Health is here with the highest level of heart care that's personal, compassionate, and sensitive to your needs. Known for embracing innovative technology and advancements in care, our nationally recognized heart team is committed to helping you protect the only heart you've got. To schedule your appointment with a heart care expert or to get a second opinion, visit franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
We set out to be the very best of the best, and past couple years we've actually achieved that. For all of the state of Indiana, we've been awarded the Dealer of the Year award twice now. Unlike other brands, that only gets handed to one dealer every year, and we're very proud to have won that twice.
Put the best to work for you at FamilyHVAC.net. Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Well, it's a great honor. It's obviously not the reason I volunteer, but it's nice.
Meet Chuck Bouillou, retired registered nurse, volunteer at Meals on Wheels, and another Jiffy Lube Do More winner.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Jennifer Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are rewarding Hoosier volunteers who use their vehicle to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
Satisfying that I know that at least that day they will get a meal, maybe even 2 meals.
Each month, Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides a volunteer free vehicle maintenance for a year, whether it's someone who delivers smiles and supplies or drives somewhere to serve on site. Jiffy Lube supports local givers who count on their car to do more for Indy, and we love to hear their stories.
You get an oil change every couple months. It's nice.
If you know a volunteer who impacts your community, nominate them today to receive a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance. Just click the Do More tab at JiffyLubeIndiana.com.
Hey, we're pretty social people at WIBC. You can find us all over social media. See what we're up to on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We're never more than just away. Just search for 93 WIBC.
Mike Braun has filed paperwork to run for governor in the great state of Indiana. And that could open up his Senate seat in the next election cycle.
It is interesting how much news this decision garnered, given the fact that Braun handled it about as bad as you possibly could. And Hammer, Nigel, and I talked about this yesterday on the Off the Rails segment.
Mm-hmm.
Why he allowed the media to just figure it out on their own. You know, in this case, I think it was Adam Wren who initially broke the story, and then you just kind of let them start writing the narrative versus writing your own narrative, and then they pull your narrative is beyond me. I mean, who told him that was a good idea? I mean, think about it, like he has an actual relationship with Hammer and Nigel, right? It's not like we said, yeah, you should come on our show where you never know what you're going to get, and I'm not an unfriendly audience, but I'm certainly going to ask him, the stuff. Like, I got a lot of grievances with Mike Braun and his voting record as a state representative. We're not saying that. He has like a friendship with those guys. He's been on with them many times. They're the #1 afternoon show in the city, in the most powerful media outlet, arguably in the state. Why would you not make that announcement there? Like, hey, because then you say why you're running. You say why you're going to do this. The audio you dictate gets pulled. It's, Wish TV or, whoever is other news outlets. It just perplexes me why he elected to just quietly do this and let it leak out.
He did a soft launch.
Yeah.
Rather than, he has said that he is going to make an official announcement.
But nobody cares now. Nobody cares now.
Probably next week. Because it's already out there.
You're just a dude asking for money now at this point, right? I mean, you're just the information in the 24/7 news cycle we live in, the newness of the information is what people want. And, he's got infinite money and he's going to run infinite ads. But I just thought that was very perplexing that he allowed that to get out in that way.
You said infinite money.
Yes.
His net worth is estimated to be about $136 million.
That is a gargantuan amount of cash. So I think he spent, let's put this in perspective. And I had tweeted this out the other day that rich people have an incredibly unfair advantage in terms of being able to access public office, right? So Mike Braun spent, and I'll have to go back to pull the numbers. I think in the U.S. Senate primary, somewhere between $8 and $10 million of his own money. To you and me, that is like, oh my gosh, what just a unbelievable amount of gorging to hold public office. But you got to think about it. That is only by your number there, and I don't know if his net worth has gone up or down the past 4 or 5 years, but that is only by that number about 1/13 of his total wealth.
It's not the whole purse.
It's not. I mean, it's like an expensive toy that he had for a year. Okay, let's say he lost. Well, okay, I lost 1/13 of my wealth. Okay, I mean, you still have the other 12/13 of your wealth. And it does really put in perspective. And I'm not a person that I believe money's free speech. You should be able to spend it. But it really does put into glaring perspective what an unfair advantage uber wealthy people have in terms of being able to run for public office, which does give you pause because public office affects everyone, right? Every person should have the ability to have a fair playing field in some capacity when running for public office, and at least we would like to think they do, and they don't. The reality is we don't. The reality is if you, me, Kevin, whoever ran, we would start at an infinite disadvantage to Mike Braun, including the most important thing, our ability to get on the ballot. Mike Braun will have no problem getting on the ballot because he will spend whatever it costs, $150,000, $200,000 to pay the people to go get the signatures. You, me, Kevin.
That would be called a grassroots effort.
Yeah, yes. If it were any of us, yes, that's absolutely as in we would be digging the grass up by its roots out of frustration, trying to get those signatures. The process in Indiana is so flawed and so rigged in favor of the people that the two parties want running. And that is why I'm just so hopeful that the Libertarians and Green Party win this federal lawsuit against the state of Indiana, because it is so unfair that regular people have this gargantuan hurdle to run for public office, and someone like Mike Braun can pull a wad of cash out of his back pocket and not even think about it.
All right, well, let's listen to him. Here he is speaking about his governor's run.
I filed the paperwork to do it a couple days ago, and I am going to go back and run for governor. There'll be a formal public announcement outside the legal foundation of filing the papers here in 10 days or so. I worked hard to get here. This place, sadly, is going to get worse before it gets better. We need term limits. We need a balanced budget amendment. We need leaders that aren't going to keep taking us down the road of $1.5 trillion deficits, 31 trillion in debt. Biden put a budget out there, puts us 45 trillion in debt. Something's got to change here. I'm going to go back, try to run a state, and make sure that we at our state level come up with the solutions that you may try to adopt out here someday.
So Mike Braun did a pretty good job as a senator. And I want to clarify, again, what I'm about to say by saying I believe he would be infinitely better than the clown that currently occupies the governor's office at 200 West Washington Street. Then again, that pen Kevin is writing with would be a better option than Eric Holcomb, so that's not a very high bar to hop over. But I want to know from Mike Braun a couple things. And anybody who's voting should want to know these things too, and it doesn't make you a bad person. In fact, it makes you a good person in terms of doing your civic duty, which is, why did Mike Braun vote for the largest tax increase in Indiana history, and that is the tax on gasoline that we're all feeling right now as much as ever, and it goes up every single year without discussion? And why should we not believe that the fact that Mike Braun voted for that terrible, unaccountable, largest tax increase in Indiana state history, why should we not believe that that is how he will govern, that whenever there is a perceived problem with the state of Indiana or the revenue or the treasury or whatever, that he will just default to lazy, unaccountable tax increases?
He sounded like he was ripping on D.C. on his way out the door. Like he's disgusted by Washington and he doesn't want to be around the people in D.C.
Yeah, and that rubs me the wrong way too, because that's really easy to do. But the fact is, because it's easy to go to Washington and go, well, I'm going to be this just vote no guy, and I'm going to be tough, and I'm going to this, and I'm going to that when you're in the minority, which is where Mike Braun spent much of his time as a U.S. Senator. But when he was in the majority, which was the Indiana General Assembly, what did he do? He went along with the flock. He voted for the 40-plus tax increases in Eric Holcomb's first year in office. He voted for that gas tax. He was not some, stalwart who was standing up, pounding his fist, going, no, this is terrible. I don't care that I'm a Republican. I'm against this. We're supposed to be the party of low taxes, not the party of high taxes. He was the go along to get along. And now that he wants to once again, I guess, be a part of running the state of Indiana, he owes everybody an explanation. And look, here's what I've told people. 35,000 votes didn't make a world of difference in the Secretary of State's race. It'll make a big difference in a Republican statewide primary. So our audience, the people who listen, the people who are informed, the people who want to know what's going on, they are going to want the answers to that, of why did you vote as a guy who professes to be this pro-business, pro-low taxes, pro-limited government guy. Why did you vote repeatedly for massive taxation and massive growth of government as a member of the Indiana General Assembly?
He did do a few things that I agree with on immigration. He emphasized the first solution would be to build walls. He opposed the DREAM Act. He opposed the Affordable Care Act. And he also was supporting Rick Scott when he tried to oust Mitch McConnell as the GOP leader. So he does have some accomplishments that he can run on. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Have a sluggish or underperforming furnace? It's time to call Masters Heating and Cooling and save $50 off any $250 paid repair. Want a second opinion from a name you can trust? Masters has a free second opinion on failed heat exchangers or condemned furnaces and works on all brands and models. Plus, an apples-to-apples price match guarantee on new equipment. Don't wait. Get details now at mastersheatcool.com.
Hey, good morning. It's Casey, and I'd like to share with you what people are saying about Galaxy Concrete Coating. John said, great company to work with. I had a very positive experience, and they were timely and completed the job in one day as promised. Bob said they did our screen porch and patio and did a fantastic job. Great workers, great product. Danny said, I did my garage floor and patio in the summer of 2020. Absolutely loved the job that was done. I highly recommend the company. You'll be amazed, too, when you call them 317-751-9070. It's Galaxy Concrete Coating. Find them online, galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Imagine if McDonald's was always within reach. Chicken McNuggets, golden crispy fries, all in the palm of your hand. With the McDonald's app, you don't have to imagine. Exclusive deals on all your delicious favorites are just a tap away.
Download the McDonald's app for a free Big Mac. Offer valid one time through the last day of the month for first-time app users at participating McDonald's. May take up to 48 hours to appear in your deals. McD app download and registration required.
School buses are densely packed spaces with poor ventilation, making the school bus the weakest link in a school's efforts to reduce disease transmission. Go to schoolbusair.com to learn more.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Trust 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning to help keep your heater running strong. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Did you hear about Taco Bell's apology? Yeah, they apologized for going too far with their breakfast. Like the naked egg taco and chicken biscuit nachos? It was too much. All you need in the morning is tasty, simple food. Like the breakfast crunch wrap. Fluffy eggs, melty cheese, sausage, crispy hash browns, wrapped in a warm tortilla. Or, as some call it, a breakfast crunch thing. Grab one today, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores during breakfast hours only until 11 a.m. While supplies last. Contact local store for hours and participation, which vary.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Donnie Burgess reports on what Richard Allen's defense has to say about the Delphi case and why there were so many FedEx pilots lined up outside the airport yesterday. That and more coming up from the Shepherd Community Center studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
More hiring across America, more selling on Wall Street. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The Dow falling nearly 300 points following the November jobs reports.
The 263,000 jobs beat expectations, and it shows the Federal Reserve that what they're doing so far is not enough to slow down the economy the way they want.
Fox Business Network's Edward Lawrence. The unemployment rate unchanged last month, 3.7%. Labor Secretary Marty Walsh just told Fox Business it's another strong report.
We're seeing people going back to
work. We're seeing industries fully recovering. Manufacturing is more than fully recovered. Has actually added about 750,000 jobs above what was pre-COVID.
Now, the World Health Organization's leader just said we're much closer to the end of the emergency phase of the pandemic, but adds gaps in surveillance and testing and vaccination create the perfect conditions for a new COVID variant of concern to emerge. Later this hour at the White House, President Biden will sign the legislation Congress passed to avert a railroad workers' strike next week, forcing unions who rejected a tentative contract to accept it without extra sick leave benefits. The House tried to add on, but the Senate rejected.
Some Republicans pushed another 2-month cooling off period that would give the rail lines and unions more time to negotiate. But that effort failed as well. Congress needed to act by the weekend, otherwise some firms would stop important shipments in the coming days.
Fox's Chad Pergram, conspiracy theorist and talk show host Alex Jones has filed for bankruptcy after recent verdicts ordered him to pay over $1 billion damages to some families of the 26 students and adults massacred in the 2012 Newtown, Connecticut school shooting that Jones long claimed was a hoax. Rapper Kanye West, known as Ye, was on Jones' show yesterday praising Adolf Hitler. He's also been kicked off Twitter again after posting a symbol, a Jewish Star of David with a Nazi symbol inside. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They say he didn't do it. It's cloudy and 41 degrees downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Richard Allen did not kill Abby Williams and Libby German. That's the claim from his defense team. Donnie Burgess reports.
Attorneys Brad Rozzi and Andrew Baldwin released a statement Thursday. It's quite the read, but the summary is Richard Allen is innocent and confused by the murder charges. They claim some of the details in the probable cause affidavit don't hold up, like the bullet or the car, which they say does not match Allen's car. His legal team says the affidavit never mentions a possible second suspect, but the prosecution keeps spouting off that theory. Rozzi and Baldwin believe police have bungled the case and that infighting between Carroll County Sheriff candidates also proves investigators are rushing to charge the wrong man. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
FedEx pilots are not happy with their employer at the moment. They want a new contract between the pilots union and the company.
Over the last 3 years during the pandemic, FedEx pilots endured extreme conditions operating around the world, and we operate 365 days a year.
Don Lepke with the union says that it's been 7 years since their last contract was amended and that it's overdue for updates. Pilots picketed outside of the Indianapolis International Airport to make their concerns known. A wanted man shot and killed himself in Jennings County Thursday. It was after a standoff that had lasted a half a day. Corey Jenkins held 4 members of his own family hostage during the confrontation. 3 were able to sneak away, and he let the 4th go before killing himself, say police. Gas prices keep falling in Indiana. $3.50 is the average for unleaded today, says Gas Buddy. Driving in Indiana can be a little hectic this time of year, especially when there's obstacles for both you and your car. Here's a recommendation from State Police Sergeant Kerry Hulls.
Slowing down, putting a lot of extra space between you and the next vehicle. You know, typically we say about 3 seconds between vehicles. Once it gets slick outside, we're saying more like 8 to 10 seconds between the vehicles.
He says making sure your tires are properly inflated and giving yourself plenty of time are also important things to do. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey, how would you live your life if you could wake up each morning knowing there was enough money coming in to not only cover your basic needs, but also your goals and dreams as well?
The mission at the Singer Financial Group is that they want to work with people who expect their relationship to be transformational rather than transactional. If that's what you're looking for, you should connect with the Singer Financial Group. 317-852-9153. That's 317-852-9153, or go to singerfinancialgroup.com. Schedule a discovery meeting and see how the retirement income money map planning process could transform your life. 317-852-9153.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Fashion Store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem
In record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Friday, December 2nd. It is 6 minutes after 10. His name is Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels, and we're glad you're here on 93 WIBC. And we start off this hour talking about the guy who is generating a lot of headlines, and that is Kanye West. Now, here's an interesting question for you. You've got three people, Kanye West, Nick Fuentes, and Alex Jones. And out of those three, the one making the most sense is Alex Jones, as he seems like he's trying to give Kanye a little bit of help, trying to control him, which he's completely lost control of the conversation at this point when Kanye West is appearing on Alex Jones' show InfoWars.
Okay, so in case you still have not heard it, I think most people have by this point, but just in case you have not, here is a little montage of what Kanye West had to say yesterday on Alex Jones' show.
I thought, that's right. You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. I love everyone, and Jewish people are not going to tell me you can love, us. And you can love what we're doing to you with the contracts. And you can love what we're pushing with the pornography. But this guy that invented highways, invented the very microphone that I use as a musician, you can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good. And I'm done with that. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler. How about that one? Ari Emanuel, how you like that one? Hey, Ron, you going to do anything to fix Chicago?
The most Nazi-like activities I've seen, and the Nazis, in my view, were thugs that shook people down, did a lot of really bad things.
Well, they did good things, too. We're going to stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
Okay. You said he loved Hitler. They gave him an award. I'm just saying, I don't like Nazis, and I don't like what some of the mafias are doing either.
I like Hitler.
So I wanted to lead with this. We led with this last hour, and I wanted to lead with it again because this is a great example. I was talking with our boss, David Wood, before we came back on the air, and he was saying this, and it's right, that this is a great example of when people see opportunity, and by opportunity I mean likes, clicks, listens, dollar signs. They are willing to use, and in so much in the modern culture, they are willing to use and abuse a person no matter what the ramification of the thing is. And so by that I mean Kanye West is clearly a person in need of some form of help, and that help goes way above and beyond my pay grade. But it is very clear at this point, it's not an act, it's not some mad scientist marketing scheme, because there is no gain whatsoever, and there's immense loss out of what he did to himself yesterday, out of what he has done to himself over the past several weeks. And nobody around Kanye West, and I don't know who would be closest to him. Now, I don't know if it, as weird as it sounds, maybe it has to be Kim Kardashian. I don't know. But somebody's got to step in and say, look, people like Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones are vampires, man. They're not your friend. They're not interested in your side of the truth. I'm not totally I'm mostly convinced Alex Jones knew exactly what was going to come out of Kanye's mouth yesterday. Maybe not word for word, but I think he knew putting him out there with Nick Fuentes what was going to happen. And nobody's looking out for this guy, and somebody needs to step in.
Take Nick Fuentes out of the conversation and go back to the dinner that Kanye had with Trump. And Trump came out and said, he's a troubled man. He was very nice to me years ago. He's trying to return the favor. It almost seems to me, because Kanye and Kim's divorce was just finalized this week, and he has to pay $200,000 a month. He's been going through all of these emotional trials, and it really does seem like at this point, maybe Trump was trying to show this guy a little compassion. Now, it turned around and bit him in the butt for doing it.
Right.
But Is Donald Trump the only person who has tried to reach out to Kanye and help him? Because like you said, it does sound like he's having a bit of a manic episode, some sort of temporary psychosis, and he does need professional help, because even the most outrageous person is not going to go and say Hitler was good.
Right. Okay.
That's crossing a line.
Kevin, you have seen Kanye West in concert, correct? You have been to some sort of event that he was at?
Yeah, I saw him at Bonnaroo in 2014.
Sure, that seems about right. Do you remember seeing him at Bonnaroo in 2014?
Yeah, I remember the whole show.
I mean, you were fully coherent and...
Yeah. No, I was pretty far back. This was probably the... had the largest attendance of all of the shows.
And you said he wears that mask thing that he was wearing yesterday during some of his shows.
It wasn't quite the same. The one that he wore at the show that I saw, it was some kind of silver mesh mask, but his whole head was covered.
So for him behaving like a weirdo in that fashion, it's not like that is the biggest red flag in the world, because he's done that for a long time.
People expect that of him.
That was him on stage performing.
Right. Give me a second. I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going to get where I need to go. So my question to you, Kevin, is for the people who enjoy Kanye West, and maybe, Casey, you can speak to this. I'm just assuming you're not one of them who regularly partakes in Kanye West music, but if you are, pop right in. What is the lure, or previously was the lure, of people to Kanye West? Like, why did they go see Kanye West?
I would say a lot of people just go to see him because he's controversial. He stops the show a lot. He goes on rants about fashion and all kinds of things. He's just very eccentric.
Yeah, okay. So the point is, where I was
You
going...
went to be entertained.
Yeah, I mean, it's not your typical show. It's definitely unique.
So my point on this is, it's not like you are going to see, I don't know, an individual musician where you say, man, I just super enjoy all of this music, and the music is the greatest thing ever. And you went because part of this guy, the persona is, he is somewhat, the guy's not completely all there, and you're likely to see something very much in the odd when he's on stage.
Well, I also went in part because I grew up with his music, and, I genuinely, I liked his music more so in, towards the beginning of his career. But, I wanted to hear those songs. But you're right. It's also, there's something.
It's a show. He's a showman.
It's a show.
Right. So it comes back to what I talked about earlier, which is when you have a guy who's a little off, and there are a lot of really brilliant people who were a little off, and it made them, because they were able to harness and perfect whatever being a little off was for them. They became immensely successful and wildly rich and whatever. So I'm not saying that as a negative, but a guy who was a little off, who you were continually asking yourself, one, what is he going to do next? And two, how much of this is show business and how much of this is this guy really is just a little bit off? I truly believe now he is totally submerged. He has merged the two things together. Like whatever the real Kanye West is and whatever the stage persona of Kanye West was have now morphed into the same thing. Like they are now inseparable, and that is a very dangerous position to be in when you lose who you are as a human being.
Absolutely. I feel almost bad for the guy that he's out there. He's putting this out there for the world to consume. And I think Elon Musk banning him on Twitter kind of did him a favor. Stop already.
Well, and so let's talk about that for a second. So Kanye was banned again on Twitter.
He said because for inciting violence.
And the post that got him banned was essentially a merging of the Star of David and the Nazi symbol into one post, right? Like he made a picture that was a merging of the Star of David and the Nazi symbol. And I think we got to have a conversation in this country about this idea of inciting violence, because it is one thing if Kanye West goes on his Twitter and says, hey, you should harm, every one of my followers should go out and harm this group of people. Okay, that's inciting people to violence. But are we now to the point in society where the mere merely a symbol, right? In this case, it was a merged, morphed, whatever. And in Kanye's mind, who knows what that actually meant. But merely seeing a Nazi symbol, like, is every piece of Nazi memorabilia collectors or museums that house Nazi artifacts, are they inciting people to violence? I mean, it just seems like we've gone so far overboard. Look, is that weird and probably and inappropriate? Yes, absolutely. Should someone probably talk to Kanye and go, you have lost your marbles and you're really offensive to a lot of people who either they or their family members went through horrific things? Yes. But are we at a point now where the mere look, I've seen Nazi symbols since I was a little kid in books, on television, on hell, we talked about Indiana Jones earlier. There's a whole Indiana Jones movie that's about the Nazis. And never once was I incited to go out to harm someone else. It just seems like we've gone totally overboard on this inciting people to violence stuff.
Well, Kanye West has now gone from being a beloved rapper, like Kevin said, grew up listening to his music, to now he's palling around with someone who's known for being a white supremacist, an anti-Semite. And that guy is taking, it seems to me, advantage of him, knowing that he's having these problems, and he's just provoking him more. Keep going, keep going.
But the question has to become, why are we holding people accountable for their association with a Nick Fuentes, but we are not holding people accountable for their association with Louis Farrakhan? Including some politicians around here who have pretty well-known associations with Louis Farrakhan. Look,
wasn't there a picture of Barack Obama with him at one point?
There are many, many very high-profile politicians who've had their photos taken with Louis Farrakhan and who have said nice things about Louis Farrakhan and who have palled around and don't condemn Louis Farrakhan. They are clear. Kanye's made himself a cause du jour right now because people can't get enough of it, which in his warped mind, wherever he's at right now, he probably views as a success. Look, everyone's talking about me.
Right. Here we are talking about it.
But the reality is someone who loves him needs to pull him aside and, one, obviously talk about the inappropriate nature of what he's doing, but also say, you are costing yourself your entire fortune.
He's gone from $6 billion to $4 or $5 million. His net worth is just plummeting.
Okay. When we come back, it is Friday, and we got so many good phone calls yesterday, including a whole bunch about the little music controversy that we had and a variety of other topics. Would it be all right if we do a couple of segments on the voicemails?
Yes. 317-684-8444 is the phone number if you would like to contribute. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
God led me here to the Salvation Army.
It's a tradition of giving.
Your donation is so important.
For over a quarter century, WIBC has partnered with the Salvation Army. Your generous donations stay in Central Indiana, helping Hoosiers.
Thank you, Lord, for the peace.
Find hope.
Feeding people in shelters.
The tradition continues next Friday and Saturday. The WIBC Radiothon for the Salvation Army.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about Orgovix.
Orgovix Relugolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact: Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
It's B Windows Black Friday sale.
52% discount plus manufacturer's rebates and no interest, no payments for 18 months.
Trust me. Maybe you're a person who's looking for a new church home or even a first church home. Then I urge you to consider checking out my friends at Life Church. Over the years, many WIBC listeners have found a home at Life Church. And there's many reasons for that. They're warm, they're welcoming. Life Church would love the opportunity to meet you and your family. Pretty much no matter where you're at in central Indiana, Life Church has a location that might be convenient for you. They have campuses in Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, in addition to online services. Learn more at lifechurchin.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
Lighten up, Francis.
And Casey Daniels.
I want to party with you, cowboy. The two of us together? Forget it.
93 WIBC.
So sorry you have just reached my answering machine.
It is 21 minutes after 10 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and it is time to feature you, dear listener. 317-684-8444 is the phone number if you'd like to participate.
Yeah, we got a lot of good phone calls, so I said that's Friday. Let's have some fun. Let's try to get to as many of them as we can. You guys did a good job. When you step up your game, we like to showcase you, and then of course we've got a whole bunch of phone calls about you two being just totally out in left field on your music choices that people wanted to weigh in on. We'll save that for a little bit later.
Okay.
But this guy that called, he's very depressed about the system. He's very depressed about voting. And my favorite part of this phone call is after he goes through all this, at the very end, he tells us to have a good day.
Okay. All right, Rob, in your own words, you said voting for the Libertarians did absolutely nothing. Despite all the votes they got, it changed nothing. So therefore, is it finally time to admit voting for the Libertarians is a waste of our vote, and we should be pushing everybody to vote straight Democrat ticket in the next two elections so we can finally send a message to the Indiana Republicans that they can't ignore and finally make them afraid of us, because that's the only way you're going to do it. Voting for Libertarians isn't helping. So at this point, I have no motivation to even vote in the next two elections because I know no matter what happens, we're not going to win. The Republicans are going to keep getting in there. They're going to keep doing whatever the hell they want. And when it comes to the national elections, you might as well forget about having a Republican president again, because New Mexico, they're never going to let it happen. They're going to keep cheating. They're going to keep creative jelly beating counting. So why even bother voting? It's over. This country is dead. It's gone. It's falling apart, and you can't save it. Have a good day.
It's over. The country's done. Have a good day. Okay, so a couple things there. One, I believe the only wasted vote is if you don't vote for the best person for the job, right? And when you look at the Secretary of State's race, the Libertarian got 35,000 more votes than the previous Libertarian did 4 years earlier for that office. Look at Diego went down a great deal from the previous Republican. Destiny Wells went down from the previous Democrat. So more people are clearly, by the thousands, tens of thousands, are wising up to what's going on. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day. Now, the other part of that, I mean, you got two options, right? You can either give up and just...
It sounds like that's what he's doing.
I guess, but, you know, or you can say, okay, it didn't go as we wanted this time. We got another, 2 years to wake some more people up. And if we keep waking more people up, I mean, that's really all you can do. You got to just keep going at it. Look, we're going to be here until our bosses tell us our services are no longer required. We're going to be having fun. We're going to be entertaining you. We're going to be trying to educate you. And that's all you can do.
Well, he mentioned that the presidential election, forget it. We'll never have a Republican president again. What do you think of that?
Well, I think that's ludicrous. I think the Republicans have got to nominate a good candidate. They've got to nominate a candidate who doesn't do a lot of self-inflicted wounds. They've got to do some things related to if early voting is going to be the most prevalent thing in the world and mail-in balloting is going to be a thing in all these states and courts are going to let it happen, then you got to figure out, instead of fighting the game, how to, get the game a little bit more in your favor. But, I mean, that's a pretty bleak outlook on life, right? Well, that's it. It's over. I mean.
Have a nice day. Early voting ends today, by the way, in Georgia.
Yeah, and there's a good chance that, who knows what'll happen there. But the point is, look, I view, did Jeff Moore do, from the Libertarian side of that phone call, did Jeff Moore do as well as I wanted him to? No. Is 35,000 more votes for a Libertarian a huge amount of people, especially when the other two old parties went down by, more than 100,000 votes? Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. So I look at it as a huge success. Now, I don't have a vested interest in Libertarians always doing well. If the Republicans would actually, start nominating good candidates who are for lower taxes and limited government and like freedom and are actually qualified for the positions, mm-hmm. I'd love to promote them too. I'm not wed to just Libertarians.
Yeah. It's about the candidate.
Real quick before we go to a break and Kurt Darling can do the news, as you know, I'll be off Monday.
Right.
One day.
Right.
And I'll be off one day. I'll be back
just
Tuesday.
One day.
And this person was very, very excited about that.
Hey, Rob, I'm calling about your time off. Two things. I work for people like you that think you're invaluable and that the place will fall apart if you're not there. And they're about the worst people to work for. So there's one of two things that's your problem. One, you think you're invaluable and the place will fall apart. Two, is I think, which is a real reason, you're afraid to take a day off because if they get a replacement in and your bosses happen to listen to it, they're going to sit there and say, what the H-E double hockey sticks do we have Rob on the air for when his replacement is so much better? Let's get away from Rob. So you're just afraid they're going to find somebody better than you. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. As soon as you become overconfident, you get voted off the island. That's what I learned from Survivor and Jeff Probst.
And yes, Casey, this guy was spot on. I am incredibly worried that this heritage radio station that has been an intimate part of this city for 75 years before I got here would completely fall apart
without you
if I were not here. That guy was spot on.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Again, that phone number 317-684-8444.
Diamonds. Everyone loves them, and at Shane Company, we've been experts in the diamond business since 1929. This means we know diamonds better than anyone else. At Shane Company, you can now choose between either a natural or lab-grown diamond. For your engagement ring, diamond studs, or diamond pendant. When it comes to our new lab-grown diamonds, we take the same approach we do for all of our diamonds and apply our same superior standards. We work with the best diamond vendors, people who've perfected the art and science of creating gorgeous diamonds in a lab, with the quality we're known for. Then we hand select only the best stones cut by the best diamond cutters. Plus, all our diamonds are eligible for our free lifetime warranty and upgrades. We'll show you our huge selection in every price range and help you select the perfect diamond. No matter what you choose, whether it's a natural diamond or a lab-grown diamond, you can be confident that with Shane Company, you're getting the most beautiful diamond.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
The Butler University School of Music presents Rejoice. 2 nights of holiday celebration at Clues Memorial Hall on December 9th and 10th. These free performances feature Butler Chorale, University Choir, Butler Symphony Orchestra, and more. With a wide variety of holiday tunes, Rejoice is sure to get your family into a festive spirit. Performances are free and open to the public. All information about these performances is available at butlerartscenter.org.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's done. Cloudy and 42 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. In the Senate Thursday.
Under the previous order requiring 60 votes for the passage of this joint resolution, the joint resolution is passed.
The bill to force a deal upon rail workers that would avoid a rail strike. It was approved by lawmakers and now awaits President Biden's signature. A senior advisor to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says thousands of Ukrainian soldiers have been killed since Russian troops invaded the country back in February. Zelensky's aide said that between 10,000 and 13,000 troops have died in the fighting with the Russians. The fifth-ranked Indiana Hoosier women's basketball team routed number 6 North Carolina Thursday night, 87-63.
This group is special because of the firepower that we do have.
Head coach Terry Morin says that they also rebound and play great defense. They're 8-0 and face Illinois this Sunday. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
I love that high school sports are about so much more than winning.
I couldn't agree more. While the immediate goal might be to win a game or championship, the real purpose of high school sports is to develop good people, not just good athletes. I'm Robert Falcons, a proud South Bend LaSalle Lion.
And I'm Carrie Rosati, a proud Roncalli Royal. We're both assistant commissioners of the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
In education-based athletics, we care just as much about how student athletes are performing in the classroom as we do about how they're performing on the playing field.
That's because high school sports are a tool to build the character of student athletes, not just their athletic skills.
Developing the whole person rather than just the athlete. That's what high school sports in Indiana are all about.
Support the real purpose of education-based athletics by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events.
This is training good athletes. This is developing better people. This is your IHSAA.
Basements get a bad rap. Probably because so many of them are wet, leaky, and musty. Thanks to screenwriters, crawl spaces aren't very popular either. Michaelis is putting an end to the horror show. Their time-tested waterproofing systems eliminate and prevent water issues. Damp and moldy becomes clean and healthy. And their French drains, vapor barriers, and encapsulation techniques turn crawl spaces into a Disney set. Yeah, okay, that probably went a bit far. But with over 35 years' experience, they have a lot of homeowners enjoying their basements again. Think Michaelis. And think how nice it would be to get rid of foundation cracks, basement leaks, damp smells, and all the nightmares that come with them. Water, storms, fire, and foundations. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Life is a collection of moments that last forever, so make them matter and make them count with a symbol of everlasting love. A diamond from Pierce Jewelers. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC at 10:33, and we carry on with more of your voicemails at 317-684-8444.
Okay, so the rest of these voicemails, except for the first one here, are going to be a grab bag. Heaven's going to surprise me. I just loaded them up with voicemails. We got so many good calls. But the first one I did want to get to, remember yesterday when Hammer was here, we were talking about the long-standing grudge I have held against Kent Harvey. Kent Harvey is now he's a grown-ass man, but kid at the time who had the encounter
Knight.
Yes, encounter with Bob Knight. Uttered the famous phrase, "Hey Knight," and it was because of that encounter that Bob Knight was later fired. And I said, I've kind of held a grudge for the past 22 years against Ken Harvey because, Bob Knight should have gone out in a Bob Knight way, like fighting a fan or something like that. Not telling Bob Knight should not have gone out of all the egregious things Bob Knight did. Telling a kid to mind his manners was not something he should have been fired for. We got a call from somebody, not from Kent Harvey himself.
I was going to say, is it him?
But from somebody who knows Kent Harvey.
I was listening to your segment about Kent Harvey. I worked with his mom. I worked with Kent and Kyle, and there's another brother also. They're triplets, and this whole thing got so blown out because they actually spoke on it at Bethesda Baptist years ago. Kent did say, "Hey, Knight," he told us that Bobby just kind of took him by the arm a little bit, didn't grab him, and then told him exactly what you said. Hey, you don't address your elders like this, show some respect. Well, it should have ended there. But he went home and was talking about it at home, and his stepdad was that doofus sports writer that hated Knight, and he blew it all out of proportion and runs to the media with it and made it sound like he tore his arm off and all this. And I know Kent personally, and he said, no, he did not. He didn't grab my arm like he was trying to kill me or leave a mark or anything. He said he just totally blew it out of proportion. So really it's not, yes, Kent admits he was being a smart kid when he said that, but he didn't turn him in. He was just talking about it at home, and his stepdad did all that. I mean, he hated Bob Knight.
So what he's saying is that a sports writer exaggerated things?
That appears to be what he's saying. Now, the big question was that we had posed yesterday is, should I send Kent Harvey a friend request on Facebook? I've not done that as of yet. What do you think? Should I?
Yeah.
Would it be good for the show?
Yes, absolutely. Have him in. Maybe he can explain his side.
Well, I have 9 mutual friends with him. I noticed that yesterday.
Yeah, you got a lot of commonality.
So you're saying I should try to bury the hatchet with Kent Harvey over taking Bob Knight from me?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. That would be the mature thing to do.
I didn't ask you what the mature thing to do would be. What would be best for our show, Casey? Okay.
That too.
Kevin, I have no idea what's next. The floor is yours.
I agree with you 100% about the way the taxes are. The thing is, we got to have the $10 million, $20 million high school football field so that the property tax, and we got to build here in Noblesville. We just spent probably a couple $30-40 million to buy this building, tear it down, and put a new tennis court with the pool and all the lights and the new everything. So the property tax, like I say, is going for football fields. And when I played football, we played on an old field. What's wrong with the field that I played on? They can play on the same thing. And education, arithmetic, math, and English, spelling, that is what needs to be taught, not sports. And I love your show. I'm for you. And folks, you people that vote for Duke of Spendenberg, you're getting it. He backs Biden 100%. Thank you very much, Rob. Keep up the good work.
So that guy ripped property taxes and Todd Young in the same phone call. We had to move him straight to the front of the line.
Right, exactly. Now, is it referendums that are paying for that, or is it the property tax?
Well, it's obviously a property tax referendum, which means your taxes go up. And this is the thing, right? And the problem is, when the property taxes were first enacted, these referendums used to fail left and right because it was fresh in people's minds about these taxes were out of control. This is why we put the tax caps in to begin with. It was a clear mandate to local governments to get their fiscal house in order. But like anything else, over time, people, because obviously they're not teaching that in public schools, people just either forget or they weren't here or those people have died off or whatever. And now it just becomes a norm like, oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. You have the constitutional right to tax caps. The school wants it. Oh, sure. And this guy's right. It's not, in many cases, going to things that are vital to everyday learning. It's going to these, sports fields or pools or whatever. All right, Kevin, what's next?
Rob, you're asking for the criminal to walk themselves in jail by asking a politician to come and explain why property taxes are outrageous, ridiculous, and stupid. They're not going to do it because none of them got any stones. Sorry, Casey, I was trying to keep it PG. But they're not going to do it because they don't have the stones, because they have no excuse. They have no way to justify it. Property taxation is theft, period. I know I said this the other day, but it's theft. They're not going to show up and tell you why that they can steal from you and then steal from you and allocate money that they have no right touching. They're not going to do it. You can devote an hour, you can devote 2 hours, you can give them your car, you can get them hair treatment.
someplace for men if they're going, Paul, whatever, it doesn't matter. They're not going to take you up on it because they're chicken.
Well, I mean, we just heard from Holcomb recently, within the past week, who said he's not concerned about Hoosiers. He's concerned about the revenue.
Yeah. And so we had offered the other day, we said, I'll give a whole hour to any member of the Indiana General Assembly. So there's, supermajority Republican of the 150. I don't know what the exact number is now, but 110 of those 150 are Republicans, to come in here and explain to our audience why it is okay that twofold. Number one, why this assessment process is right, why this is the best way to do it, that some unelected, well, the assessor is elected, but a person who is not an agent of a fiscal body, right? It's not a county council, it's not a town or city council, it's not a county commissioners. A person who is not of a fiscal body gets to raise people's taxes every single year, and why it is okay to tax people on something they aren't monetizing, and why it's okay for that tax to go up every single year. And we have not heard anything from anyone.
Have we talked about how this circle right now, how the property taxes are going up by 7.7%?
What?
And how Holcomb shut the state down.
Yes.
And that had a crunch on the housing market because supply is low, which meant your house is worth more, which means it's being assessed for more money.
Yes.
Did you see where it all is right there?
It's a big circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, the only people who didn't suffer during COVID was the government. The governments now, the federal government, the local governments, the state governments have more money than they've ever had before. Local governments, state governments, federal government, all have all-time record revenues. You know who didn't miss a paycheck? The lawmakers. You know who got screwed during COVID? You. All right, one more.
I am calling because you guys just brought up an interesting point with Ted Cruz and Ron DeSantis speaking out against China. Wouldn't that be an interesting ticket, Ron DeSantis and Ted Cruz as his vice president? I mean, you got a constitutionalist, could help him, guide him in the right direction, and you got Ron DeSantis, who obviously isn't afraid to say anything to anyone, but yet do it in a manner that could possibly help gain more support for what Republicans are trying to do, which is become more conservative. Just a thought. You guys take care, doing a good job. Appreciate the things that you talk about. Goodbye.
So it's interesting. The problem is, one, it would be two white men on the ticket, and I think that's very unlikely that the Republicans would go that route
of
again.
Two big states.
Well, two big states, but let's face it, Florida and Texas are probably likely safe states. So it's not like if you were DeSantis, you pick Cruz and he brings you.
Kind of like how Trump picked Pence.
Yeah, right. Well, you're right. I mean, there is some merit to it, although the Pence pick was an offset of Trump's shortcomings, which was certain members, certainly many faith-based voters had issues with Trump's past, given his indiscretions, shall we call them that. So, I don't know. Look, anything's better than what we got. And we can all agree on that.
I can only imagine what the debates would look like if it were a DeSantis Cruz ticket.
Oh, that'd be great. Ted Cruz would be phenomenal.
Why would anybody else even show up?
All right, let's do it. Let's put a website together. DeSantis Cruz 2024. You can moderate it. It's fine.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Hammer and Nigel show. Top stories of the day and beer sample Friday. Abdul, Dan Dockich. We got a show. 3 to 7, 93 WIBC.
I'd rather be folding laundry.
This is gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Baird Traffic.
Backups are already starting.
On 93 WIBC.
Your love isn't confined to an Advent calendar. It doesn't stop when the Christmas lights come down. With the Salvation Army, your love lasts all year long. It puts a present under someone's tree today and a roof over someone's head tomorrow. It brightens Christmas morning and the hardest nights for hardworking families. Together, we love beyond Christmas. Give $25 a month to support local families all year long at SalvationArmyIndiana.org.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get
Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
The holidays bring families together. For many adult children, spending time with elderly loved ones leads to questions about their health and safety. This may be the perfect time to consider the security of a continuing care retirement community. Westminster Village North is offering personally scheduled tours to introduce you to the independent living and assisted living advantages. Call 371-823-6841 to schedule a personalized tour.
There's the good parts we all think about. The crackling of wood on a cold winter night, the warmth and glow in the room. And then there's the other part. The stale campfire smell, the potentially dangerous creosote buildup. It's easy to forget about the importance of fireplace maintenance. The certified professionals at Chimney Solutions Indiana can keep your fireplace clean and safe using trusted products and repair techniques. Call 317-757-6979 or go to chimneyindy.com.
If you run a small business, you need the most from every investment. That's why Comcast Business gives you more. Like more innovation with our new gig speed Wi-Fi, plus unlimited data. More speed from the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses. And more savings, up to 60% a year with Comcast Business Mobile. All from the company that powers more businesses than any other provider. When you need more, you need Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with internet and advanced security for just $40 per month for 12 months with no annual contract when you add mobile. Plus, ask how to get a $750 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 1/1/2023. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary. Compare pricing of top carriers. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Comcast Business Internet required. New Comcast Business 100 megabits per second internet and security edge customers only. Equipment taxes and other fees extra and subject to change. Must add mobile within 90 days of internet install and keep services for 12 months for discount. Results vary. Not an endorsement.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today.
Listen right here this weekend to Everyday Wealth with Soledad O'Brien and Gene Chatsky, presented by Edelman Financial Engines. For airtimes, visit everydaywealth.com.
LifeChurchIN.com. That is where you can find all the information on Life Church. And if this Sunday you're looking for a new church home or even a first church home, then I urge you to consider checking out my friends at Life Church. The Life Church community would love the opportunity to meet you and your family. They're warm, they're welcoming, and over the years, many WIBC listeners have found a home at Life Church. Life Church has campuses in Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, in addition to online services. Again, that's lifechurchin.com.
The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey,
5.6%.
Hammer and Nigel, podcasts. Listen to the station live, whenever, wherever, online at WIBC.com.
Are you hungry?
Like the wolf.
I hear you're going to be eating this afternoon.
I was getting ready to dance for you, too, right there. Hungry like the wolf. Hungry like the wolf. Yes, it's a big day today. Now, here's what's going to happen. Joey Chestnut, the best in the world at competitive eating, is going to be coming by our show. Friend of the show, and he's competing in the big St. Elmo's shrimp eating extravaganza for the Big Ten championship football game.
What a life. He gets paid to go eat places.
Right? I pay to go eat places.
Yeah.
He gets paid. So he's taking part in that, but as a little precursor, he usually comes by our show, and we have a competitive, friendly little shrimp eating race. Now, the odds are stacked against me because, one, I have to chew everything up so much, including like aspirin and pills, because I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, you're a total wimp.
And number two, I have been fighting a little bit of a cold this past week.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I think is going to go down, Casey. If I somehow beat Joey Chestnut in the shrimp eating contest today, it's going to go down in history as the greatest moment in athletics. It'll be bigger than Jordan's flu game if I can beat Joey Chestnut today.
I like how you're setting it up. You're already making excuses.
Yeah. No, this
He's
does,
the underdog.
This does
There's
give me...
no way you're winning, by the way. He's a professional.
He is the best in the world. It's not like he's just a professional.
Yeah.
Like, how many people do you know that they can say they're the best in the world at what they do?
Yeah.
And usually the way this contest works is by the time Nige and I have one shrimp eaten, he's done.
It'd be the equivalent like if I went and played Tiger Woods in a round of golf. Like, whoever he's not the best in the world right now, but you get the point, right? I mean, he is so
if
far.
If it were 2001.
Yes, right.
And you beat Tiger Woods in golf.
Yeah. This does give me an opportunity, though, to remind you that not that long ago, he was a guest on your show. This will shock people. Nigel was not here. And you and I had our own little shrimp eating contest. And I am pleased to say that I was victorious in that shrimp eating contest, which shocked me because I definitely thought you were like minus 800 going into that, the heavy favorite.
Right. And again, it's just the fact that I have to chew everything up so much.
And that sauce, so this is the St. Elmo's, right?
It's the heat.
Yeah, you got to have that sauce with the shrimp, and that sauce, Casey, it'll especially if you try to inhale it.
It's horseradish.
So good though.
So about how many shrimp will you eat during this process?
Well, they give us like a little container, right? So it's not like how many you can eat. It's who can eat this container the fastest.
The fastest.
So it's a normal shrimp cocktail. I think there's 4 or 5 in there.
Yeah, and they're big.
They're big, and they're loaded with the sauce. So 3, 2, 1, go. We start eating. By the time Nige and I have one done, Joey's bowl is empty.
And it would be fabulous to enjoy if you could just sit there and take your time and eat the shrimp and the shrimp cocktail sauce. But when you are trying to inhale it, like it does mass damage. And I felt bad because when I inhaled that box of shrimp, I realized I was inhaling about $93 worth of merchandise. And I thought, I really should have enjoyed this more and just let you win.
But congratulations, because you don't do very many things well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
I agree.
You did win that contest.
Yeah. Okay, so that's
if it were me, I would not even try. I would make him think we were competing, but then just enjoy the food.
There's been times where I've almost wanted to pull a switcheroo, like have an empty bowl there. Wait till he's got his face down in the shrimp and then switch it. Oh, done. Look at this guy.
Come on, Pokey, let's go. Have we ever figured out how he does this? Is there some genetic thing with him that he has? Because like if you're a professional athlete, you lift weights, you run, is there some thing? I mean,
he's not a big fat guy at all.
Right.
He's a regular dude. I'll ask him that this afternoon. There's a way you just get it to go down your throat. You just shovel it in there. Now, with the hot dogs, the strategy with that
is to dip the bun in water.
Right. You just scarf down the dog, you dip the bun in the water, and then it's 2 hands. You just get it all going. But, man.
And he lives here now, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a Hoosier now. He loves it here. So he's got his own condiment line. The Joey Chestnut spicy mustard. And again, I'm not just saying this because he's coming on the show. As a fat guy, I'm telling you, it's the best in the business. The Joey Chestnut firecracker spicy mustard, it doesn't get any better than that.
Hey, what do you think about the college football playoffs changing? They announced yesterday.
I've said before that I don't think you need to expand it. And again, I'm a Tennessee Volunteers fan. And if anybody would want to expand it, it would be me because my team would be involved in it then. If this were in place this year, Tennessee would make the playoff. But usually, year in and year out, you don't have 4 good teams.
Yeah.
Usually it's 1 or 2 good teams that blow somebody out, then they play each other in the championship game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I like the fact that the Rose Bowl told Purdue, the inferior university in the state of Indiana, that we don't care if you win this game against Michigan. We don't want you. We want a real team. Give us the Buckeyes. I like that.
And if the Buckeyes don't go, then it's probably going to be Penn State.
Well, they'd still probably travel and draw better than Purdue. Yeah, how about that, Daniels? What do you think of that?
Yeah. I know it's radio and people can't see the daggers that I'm throwing your way,
Well,
Rob
they can.
Kendall.
You're on YouTube. It's seen by
I can't
everyone.
believe you would say that to me.
Why?
Because.
Purdue's awful.
What? Why?
I mean,
Why
they're
would
having a good run right now. I mean, they made the conference championship game.
If you are...
That is the biggest, that's malarkey, okay? If for some reason they were to beat Michigan and win the Big Ten championship, now they're saying, no, we'd rather have Ohio State.
That's correct.
Who won the game head-to-head between Purdue and Ohio State?
Why you got to play that?
Look,
you're sitting here in Indiana, guys. Why don't you root for the home team?
Because, listen, my team is Tennessee, and they beat Alabama. I'm trying to make a point here.
Up.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Look,
make
Casey,
your point.
you're a woman, so we don't expect you to understand sports like us. But he's right.
He's mad at me
the goal of the bowl is to get the best team that will attract the most amount of
viewers.
eyes, and there's no doubt Ohio State or Penn State are going to attract infinitely more eyes than Purdue is.
Than Purdue will. He's mad at me. He's not going to talk to me for the rest of the day. Are you? I'm sorry, Hammer.
No, it's just fine. You can dominate my segment all you want. Go ahead.
What's coming up this afternoon in addition to Joey Chestnut?
Oh, no. Casey can tell you what's coming up on our show later on.
It's they're going to beer sample Friday. And he's going to have shrimp with Joey Chestnut. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Why is there church? Pastor John Gable of Tabernacle Presbyterian Church in Indianapolis.
The word church conjures up many images, but at TAB we believe the church is called to demonstrate the values and practices of the kingdom of God. At TAB we envision a place where people grow strong in faith as they are equipped to serve others, where deep and loving relationships are created, where people work together to strengthen the community, advocate for justice, and promote God's peace and shalom. Oh, we're not there yet, but that is what we desire because we believe that's what God desires for the church, our community, and the world. Come see for yourself or find out more at tabpres.org.
Tabernacle Presbyterian Church, 34th Street and Central Avenue in Indianapolis, invites you to worship Sunday morning at 8 or 10 a.m. If you can't make it in person, tune in to Sunday with Tab, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WIBC, or find us online at tabpres.org.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here, and the holidays are around the corner, which means tons of food, lots of family, and guests in your home, and clogged drains. Don't let your backed up pipes ruin the holiday spirit. Call my friends at Hope Plumbing, and they'll make sure to keep everything flowing. Visit hopeplumbing.com for a $49 mainline cleaning and an $89 small drain cleaning. So the next time you need a plumber, let Hope Plumbing take care of the dirty work so you can get back to your holiday fun. Inflating prices aren't stopping anytime soon, and that kitchen or bathroom remodel you've been thinking about, if you wait any longer, it's just going to get more and more expensive. You need to be planning right now. Tony Katz for Boer Remodeling. Get in touch with Boer now to get on the schedule for 2023 and avoid some of those price increases. Boer Remodeling aims to be the finest remodeler in Central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Boer Remodeling, BOOHER. Talk to BoerRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation.
And Doug.
Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service? Do you need to find a well-trained dealer like Marshall Mechanical in Franklin? We'll find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Hubler has certified service and maintenance for the life of your vehicle. Get everyday value pricing on service and parts and schedule an appointment with ease at drivehubler.com.
It's B Windows Black Friday sale.
52% discount plus manufacturer's rebates and no interest, no payments for 18 months.
Trust me.
Coming up in 2 minutes, as attorneys say they have the wrong man, plus Chris Davis reports on a standoff in southern Indiana that ended badly. All that and more coming up from the Shepherd Community Center studios after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
You're hired. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. More Americans than expected heard that last month. 263,000 jobs were created, and while that is down slightly from October,
analysts had expected to see roughly 200,000 new jobs added in November. The unemployment rate held steady at 3.7% as expected. Demand for workers is continuing to outpace the number of unemployed people looking for work, but companies in technology, entertainment, and real estate have been hit with a series of layoffs this year.
Fox's Lillian Wu, Labor Secretary Marty Walsh tells Fox Business it's a tricky time in the economy.
In past downturns, we've had recessions. There's been a whole host of different reasons. In this particular case, you have a pretty strong stock market. You have very strong job growth. Right. You have wages going up.
Now, we do have a strong stock market, he says, but it's down for the year. And again this morning, the Dow is falling 198 points and the NASDAQ is losing 110. President Biden is now touting what they've just done to avert a railroad workers' strike.
Communities could have lost access to chemicals necessary to ensure clean drinking water. Farms and ranches across the country would have been unable to feed their livestock. And thanks to the bill Congress passed and one I'm about to sign, we've spared the country that catastrophe.
And he did sign that bill a moment ago, forcing unions to reject a tentative contract that had rejected that contract to accept it. The president is not committed yet to running in 2024, but he's backing changes. The Democratic National Committee is considering this weekend to change the primary contest order.
It's expected the body will approve giving South Carolina first in the nation status, jumping ahead of New Hampshire, which historically has hosted the first primary in the nation after Iowa's first in the nation caucus. Under a proposal, sources say President Biden backs. New Hampshire and Nevada would go second and third.
That's Jared Halpern. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Is he the wrong man? It's cloudy and 43 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Attorneys who represent Richard Allen have released a statement ahead of the new hearing set for January 13th in the Delphi case. Allen's team claims that he would not receive a fair trial in Carroll County and thus should be moved 150 miles away. They also say that the case against Allen is shaky for various reasons. In a nutshell, they say investigators have the wrong guy. 4 family members were taken hostage by a fugitive in western Jennings County just after midnight Thursday. Chris Davis reports Corey Jenkins did not surrender.
The cops did their best for 12 hours with SWAT teams and negotiators trying to get him to come out of the house. Instead, Jenkins holed up, taking those family members hostage and showing a pistol several times to police. After 3 family members snuck out a window to safety and a 4th was released, and all night and all morning negotiating, Jenkins shot and killed himself. He had been wanted on felony warrants. Police did not specify what charge. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
FedEx pilots in Indianapolis are making it clear that they're not happy with the current working conditions within the company. Several pilots picketed outside of the entrance to the Indianapolis International Airport on Thursday, demanding a new contract.
As the best trained and most professional pilots in the world, we feel we've earned an industry-leading contract.
Don Lepke is with the pilots union. Drunk driving was the charge against a former Beech Grove basketball coach. Now Mike Renfro is pleading guilty to that charge. He was pulled over in Henry County back in August. As part of the plea deal, cocaine charges were being dropped. The sentence is now 1 year suspended plus probation. Just like the men did this week, the Indiana Hoosier women took care of North Carolina on Thursday, and they came out on top.
Our chemistry obviously has come together nicely and quickly, probably quicker than I thought it could.
That's head coach Terry Morin. The Lady Hoosiers knocked off the Tar Heels 87-63 inside of Assembly Hall in Bloomington. Indiana is the 5th-ranked team in the nation. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all of your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with Truehold. Truehold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, fastest way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Friday, December 2nd. It is 6 minutes after 11 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And Don Lemon got into a heated exchange with his CNN co-anchors yesterday morning. He claimed that male athletes earn more money than female athletes, which is mostly true. Why? Because men's sports earn more money than women's sports.
Which is also mostly true.
So you think Don Lemon's going to get in trouble for saying that?
Well, okay, so here's the back and forth. Yes, I was talking with somebody about this yesterday, a fairly prominent member of the Indianapolis media who shall remain nameless because this person does not want their career ruined by being known that they openly associate with me. And we were talking about this, and I told this person, I said, he's probably going to get in big trouble. Not for what he said. We'll play the audio here in a second. What he said was absolutely spot on, and it's well, duh. But he said it on CNN, and these women that he works with were just beside themselves that he would say it.
They were not having any of it, were they? They weren't letting it go either.
I mean, I don't know why this is has people so enraged, because especially in the sport of soccer, men's soccer is viewed by far more people than women's soccer. Thus, more eyeballs, more advertisers, more sponsorship, and thus the pay would be accordingly. There are many areas where women do, better than men. Like I was thinking about this last night. Is Candace Owens a better broadcaster than me? No. But she makes a lot more money than I do, and you don't see me throwing a fit about it. Why? Because she has platforms and works with organizations where she has a national platform. That only makes sense that when there are more eyeballs on you or more ears or whatever, that you would make more money.
So Team USA already earned $13 million so far this year. By comparison, the women's national soccer team earned just $6 million. Even though they won 2 World Cups in 2015 and 2019.
Sure, they won.
They won.
But nobody cares.
But they had fewer viewers. And of course, sports executives are going to push what garners ratings. And viewership is their agenda.
Right, absolutely. Sports is this is what's interesting about sports, and we'll play this audio of Don Lemon. We as a collective have it in our heads that we are somehow connected together with these players and with these teams. And that is why I always laugh about the grown-ass men wearing another grown-ass man's name on the back of their shirt. For the most part, they don't care. The players are there to get paid. The owners are there to make money. That's why these franchises sell for billions and billions of dollars. They are essentially mega corporations that rival some of the most prominent, biggest organizations in the entire country. It's a business. Right? Whether it's the NFL, Major League Baseball, basketball, professional sports, period, is a business. They exist to make money. And you make money based on interest in your thing.
Yeah.
And in terms of soccer, just like the NBA and the WNBA, there is markedly more interest in the men's side of the sport than the women's side of the sport. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. I'm just reporting the facts.
Yeah, the difference is the popularity. They're there for high ratings, ticket sales, television deals, and advertising. Now, I will tell you, in some cases, these are package deals. And I will give you an example. In South Bend, to carry the Notre Dame football contract, you also have to carry the basketball games, but not the women's basketball games, the men's games. So it's not only a priority for the broadcaster, it's a priority for the university as well. I mean, that's what they're saying is important to them. They want the media coverage of the men's games, not the women's games.
You know, I'm a big golf fan, and I am one of 7 people in the world who actually will sit down and watch women's golf. And I watch women's golf because they're pretty good players, but also they hit the ball. A good woman golfer hits the ball about as far as I do as a man. So I enjoy when they hit a tee shot. That's about how far I hit the ball as a decent male golfer. The clubs that they will pick are clubs similar to what I would pick. So when they're out on the course, I can kind of play along with them. But that's because I'm a golf nerd. The average person wants to see Bryson DeChambeau hit a 350-yard drive. They want to, see a guy who can get home at a par 5 with a drive and a pitching wedge. That's why men's golf is infinitely more watched than women's golf. It's math, it's facts, it's everything else. If the women want to get paid more, they should draw more eyes to their sport. And Don Lemon had the audacity to say this on CNN, and he got in big trouble.
If there is more interest in a men's sport, the business people, the people who make money off of sports, will put that on television because we live in a capitalist society. And if people are interested in that, then there would be more attention and more money would be paid. So it's about the money.
But here's the thing, and this is the point that I was making that goes to that, which is, why is that what people are watching? It's because it's what they're used to watching. Why is it because it's what they're used to watching? Because men were putting men's sports on TV way before women's sports. Yes. So it's this systemic, institutionalized thing. No, I'm not done yet.
They are just more interested in it.
But why are they more? But you're missing my point. Why are they more interested? Because men's sports has been around longer. People have been paying attention to it more. There have been these amazing female sports stars that have only become household names in recent decades. That's the point. And I'm saying if they had both started at the exact same point, they both received the same amount of marketing and promotion and all that stuff, and then we got to where we are today, that would be a different point.
Guess what? Big media giants, big advertisers. This is another opportunity to put the money where your mouth is.
I don't believe that's accurate. I respect your point, and I hear what you're saying. I don't believe that's accurate. We live in a capitalist society, and if people can make money off of whatever it is, they are going to exploit it. And there is a reason, and I'm sure it's part of what you are saying, and it's part of what you're saying. And these are conversations that we need to have. But I just think that we are lying to ourselves if we believe that someone cannot sit here and speak the truth to what we're.
Can I read you a headline? This is a fact that my smart producer Annie gave me. Quote from Forbes: "The fastest growing audiences on TV are for women's sports."
Growing.
But that's because their ad dollars go. You're missing the point. They're coming at a later starting point than men's sports were. That's the whole point here.
This is ridiculous because, let's take the WNBA, for example. The WNBA has been, was it 25 years now? WNBA has been around. It's still nobody goes. It's 25 years, a quarter of a century, Casey. Nobody goes. It's a total charity case of the NBA in which their owners lose money to keep the league open. Great, it's their league. They can do whatever they want. There's no interest in it. You give away tickets to the games. It doesn't mean by women's basketball standards that those women aren't good players. But, dude, people want to see dunks. They want to see backboards rattle. They want to see, amazing three-pointers. They want to that just doesn't it doesn't happen. Same thing with golf. Nobody goes, nobody watches, nobody cares because they don't do the things that people want to see. Soccer, let's talk about something in your neck of the woods. What was 1999 the year the chick took off her shirt when she hit the shot?
Are you talking about Brandy?
Brandy Chastain, right? Was that 1999?
I don't remember what year it was.
Point is, I was in high school. I was working. I remember working at the Brownsburg Golf Course when it happened. There was infinite attention to the women's sport of women's soccer during that moment. It was ESPN, was everywhere.
Right.
Clearly, there was an opportunity if the sport was super entertaining and people wanted to consume it, where all eyes were on that sport.
Yeah.
They didn't do it. Baseball's the same way. Baseball. When did people watch baseball? When it was Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa hitting all the home runs. And then it came out those people were all liars and cheaters and nobody watches baseball now again. We are in a what have you done for me lately society. You have every opportunity to hold the people. If you get the eyeballs on it, if you don't hold them, that's your fault.
Well, a new study came out by USC, and they said that coverage of women's sports has barely changed over a quarter of a century. So like you said, since 1999, even though there has been an increase of number of girls and women playing youth, high school, college, and professional sports. But to your point, it's the interest level. And like what Don Lemon was saying, it's not an indictment on the female athlete and their skill level. It's what people are watching and what advertisers want to be a part of. Obviously, advertisers want to be a part of the program that has the most viewers. SportsCenter devoted 2%, just 2% of their airtime to women's sports since 1999.
And ESPN's super woke.
And 81% of that 2% was all focused on basketball. I mean, we can't compete with football. Football is everywhere, right? And your average football game lasts about 3 hours, 3+ hours. The total time the ball is actually in play is about 11 minutes, but yet that will garner hundreds of commercials.
Yeah, and the other thing, and then we'll get off this, but people don't want to be told what they have to like. Right? You are doing a huge disservice by saying, well, you must respect this. You must like this. You must tell us how great this is. No, we must not.
Right.
And people don't. Look, the WNBA is a failure. It's done. Right? I mean, it will exist because for political correctness and wokeness, rich NBA owners will prop the league up because they don't want to have the media come after them. But you've had 25 years. It's not catching on. It's not getting any better. It has a very core audience of people who watch it, and God bless those people, and I'm glad you have that. But that's it. That's as far as it go. Women's golf, same way. Women's golf is just there. Nerds like me watch it, and I say that as someone who watches women's golf. But I'm not saying I don't understand why more people don't. It's not that entertaining based on what we value as entertainment. Doesn't mean the women aren't great. Doesn't mean that the same thing with women's soccer. Doesn't mean they're not immensely talented.
And they should absolutely have the opportunity to play. But that doesn't mean you can't force people to watch it.
Yeah.
And that's what garners the ratings.
And look,
is the putts, persons using television.
And look, if we're going to give people who deserve an opportunity, we're going to start with Kevin and the Uno Gold Band getting their opportunity to play on the big stage.
It is
and then the women can come next.
Yeah, 17 minutes after 11 is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz.
It's Kanye who, according to the sources, brought with him this guy, Nick Fuentes. Trump never should have had the lunch. You allow yourself to have a meal with a guy who you don't know who it is? And how in the bloody hell did this guy get into Mar-a-Lago? I don't think I could just be Kanye's +1 to Mar-a-Lago. Something tells me there's going to be a bit of a check. So Trump's getting heat for having this lunch. You know what? Damn straight. You do have lines.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Looking for the perfect gift this holiday? Crew Car Wash books are on everyone's list. And right now, buy 4 Ultimate Washes and get 2 free. Available online or at any Crew Car Wash location.
There's only one company that meets the gold standard in hair restoration and hair transplants. We Grow Hair Indy. Hey, it's Rob, and I'm here with Darren Andrews. Darren, people are coming from all over the world to We Grow Hair Indy to grow their hair back.
Hey Rob, it's great to be here. Yes, they are. And Rob, as you well know, we are very proud of the technology and the results of We Grow Hair Indy. We Grow Hair Indy is one of only 2 places in the entire US that offers both the Artist Robotic FUE and our trademark procedure, multi-unit hair grafting.
We Grow Hair Indy filled in my crown area and restored the hair on the top of my head. Call 888-724-5129 for a free evaluation. That's 888-724-5129 and grow your hair back. The one company that has the best technology and results. WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard in hair restoration.
This year, giving is receiving with Indiana College Choice 529 savings plans. It's the tax-advantaged way to save for qualified education expenses at any eligible institution in and out of state, including tech, trade, undergraduate and graduate programs, and registered apprenticeships. Contribute by December 31st, and you could receive a 20% Indiana state tax credit worth up to $1,000. Visit collegechoicedirect.com/plans to get started and read the disclosure booklet carefully before investing.
Smith & Wesson is committed to empowering Americans no matter what. With inflation hitting everywhere, we've decided to make a change. Now, you can buy a Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, our most popular concealed carry firearm, at an all-new low price, $100 off MSRP. We're absorbing the costs and passing along the savings to you so you don't have to compromise on personal security. Visit smithandwesson.com to find a Shield Plus near you. Smith & Wesson. Always expect the best.
It's B Windows Black Friday sale.
52% discount plus manufacturer's rebates and no interest, no payments for 18 months.
Trust me. You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show.
Good morning, Vietnam!
On 93 WIBC.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure. It's half your show.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So some people are mad at me because when Hammer was on with us and you were whining about Purdue and the bowl game.
Hammer's mad at me.
Well, you'll learn how to deal with Hammer eventually. It's yes sir, no sir when Hammer's in here. You're upset because Purdue has been told that even if they win this
Big Ten championship
game,
they won't go to the Rose Bowl.
They will not go to the Rose Bowl. Rose Bowl said we want same thing we just talked about in the last segment.
Right, we want Ohio State. Yes, I know.
They want eyeballs. They want people who will travel, etc.
And I'm a Buckeye fan.
Well, I made the statement Purdue is terrible, and some people got really mad at me. Mm-hmm. And I have an IU diploma on my wall. So yes, Purdue is terrible. I cheer for them to lose every single time. Mm-hmm. And don't act like you Purdue fans are out there any given Tuesday evening cheering for IU basketball. You know, there were a plethora of Purdue fans hoping IU did really well against North Carolina. Yes, I cheer for Purdue to lose every single time. I hope they lose on Saturday. It's a rivalry. Get over it.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand what you're saying. That Ohio State, it may be a better game to watch, and there are possibly more Buckeye fans. I'm just surprised that both of you are sitting here in Indiana and you're ripping on Purdue over Ohio
We're
State.
IU fans.
Well, I know, but it's
screw Purdue. And I can say that because my wife graduated from Purdue, so screw Purdue.
No, they're giving my daughter a fine education right now, so boil her up. They're also taking a lot of my money right now.
It's okay. Biden's. Oh, that's right. You don't qualify for the 10K giveaway because you did it the right way and paid for it with cash.
I actually saved up all that money.
What a sucker you were.
I know. I did it the right way. 22 minutes after 11 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And Karine Jean-Pierre facing some criticism. On Monday, she said the Biden administration is, quote, keeping an eye on Elon Musk and his Twitter company over concerns of the spread of misinformation and, here it is again, Rob, incitement to violence on the platform.
Yeah.
And Fox's Martha McCullum was having none of it.
Yeah, so she had, it was John Kirby was on, the spokesperson for the Biden administration, and she did, this is awesome, we're going to play the audio here, she did an awesome job of saying, wait a second, you're going to keep an eye on Twitter, a law-abiding, tax-paying, stand-up, owned by a stand-up citizen of this, country, but you're not going to do anything about Apple, who is literally conspiring with the Chinese government to shut down protests? Give me a break.
But why not say something to Apple? Because we were just told the other day that the White House is keeping an eye on Elon Musk and Twitter. So why would you say that from the podium? You didn't say it, but Karine Jean-Pierre said it, and not call Apple out for helping the Chinese government to suppress their own people's ability to communicate.
Again, I think we've been very clear and consistent on this. Certainly publicly, we've been very open about our desires to be able to see citizens communicate. And Apple, if this is a decision that they're making, then they should have to speak to that. But we can't and we aren't in the business of telling private companies how to execute their initiatives.
Yeah, but Twitter's a private company too. So why is Twitter getting one treatment and Apple's getting another is my question.
Well, these are completely two different circumstances. You're talking about the potential. Well, you're talking about the potential for perhaps foreign investment and involvement in the management of Twitter. That's a different issue than what we're talking about here, which is a business decision by Apple with respect to how one of their applications is being utilized.
Certainly, they're getting influenced by a foreign government, and that government is China. And Apple's policies, they've changed policies specifically for China when it comes to what they put on their phones.
Right.
I mean,
And
that seems like something that the White House ought to be able to keep an eye on.
I certainly think that's a fair question to ask Apple and try to make them communicate why they did this.
But I'm asking, has the White House done that? Have you reached out to them as a matter of national security, since we obviously have national security concerns with China, who they seem to be aiding in this process?
Sure. I don't have any communications to speak to specifically with Apple executives. Again, it's a private company. They make these policies, and they should have to answer for that.
So Apple's a private company and they can make their own decisions.
Yes, that's correct.
But Twitter's not a private company. He said that Twitter has the potential, but Apple's already interfered.
Right.
The potential is not there. It's already done.
That's correct.
They eliminated the airdrop in China where they were communicating, where protesters were communicating with one another offline.
Yes, that's correct.
So
what aren't you understanding?
Okay, I'm just making sure I got it all clear. No, I understand perfectly the hypocrisy of it.
Okay, Casey.
Yeah.
When we come back, we asked our audience to weigh in on a very important topic yesterday.
Yeah.
And you two, I mean, look, I am a real gift to this radio station. I am a real gift to this building. I'm a real gift to this business, period. And I think I earned it yesterday from having to deal with you two. And as part of that, we asked for some audience participation, and I'd like to reveal that audience participation to the both of you when we come back.
Okay, we're gonna hear some more voicemails.
Yes, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, sounds good. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
AAA has bailed me out multiple times, including this one time I was at work, battery died, couldn't go anywhere. AAA was here within 45 minutes. They pulled my old battery out, put a new one in, and I was on my way. And if you're still not done with your holiday shopping, if you're a AAA member like me, I've got you covered, okay? Give the gift of peace of mind this holiday season, a AAA membership. It's the gift that keeps giving well past the holidays. Flat tires, dead batteries, lock your keys in your car, 24/7 roadside assistance from AAA for an entire year. I'm a AAA member. You should be too.
Check another thing off of your list by giving someone you care about a AAA membership. Get yours today at your local AAA office by calling 844-GO-AAA-GO or visiting AAA.com. And don't forget to ask about complimentary travel planning and great insurance rates, auto, home, life, and more, because you don't have to be stuck on the side of the road to get assistance from AAA.
LifeChurchIN.com. That is where you can find all the information on Life Church. And if this Sunday you're looking for a new church home or even a first church home, then I urge you to consider checking out my friends at Life Church. The Life Church community would love the opportunity to meet you and your family. They're warm, they're welcoming, and over the years, many WIBC listeners have found a home at Life Church. Life Church has campuses in Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, in addition to online services. Again, that's LifeChurchIN.com.
As you know, I had my garage floor coated with Galaxy concrete coatings a while back, and like anyone, I did some homework before I said, let's do this. Here are some things that I found out. First, Galaxy concrete coatings is local and ready to give you and all of Indianapolis a transformation. Next, Galaxy concrete coatings is 4 times stronger than epoxy, and it's designed to not only work in your garage, but they can also use it on driveways, walkways, around your pool or patio. With it being UV resistant, it will not yellow. Oh, and it's ready to go in 24 hours, so you can drive, walk, run, dance, splash on it right away. Now for my fun part. I got you 15% off. Just tell them when you call 317-751-9070, you want the Casey deal. You got to tell them the Casey deal for 15% off. And check out their site at galaxyconcretecoatings.com. They are truly out of this world.
What separates high school sports from other athletic programs? We keep education in front of athletics. I'm Paul Knighty, Commissioner of the IHSAA, and I'm thrilled to introduce our new Assistant Commissioner, Janie Elmer, because I know she shares the same passion for education-based athletics.
That's right, Paul. As a former principal, teacher, and Hoosier student-athlete myself, I understand firsthand how high school sports provide a complete educational experience for students.
The real benefit of playing in the second classroom of high school sports isn't just about teams becoming better athletes.
It's about them becoming better people, building character and developing the habits they need to be successful adults in life. Accountability, teamwork, respect, perseverance. These are just some of the life lessons learned on the playing field.
It's good to have another passionate advocate for education-based athletics on the team. Welcome aboard, Assistant Commissioner Elmer.
This is the second classroom. This is education-based athletics. This is your IHSAA.
Express the heartwarming message of Christmas this year and give her a diamond engagement ring from Pierce Jewelers that says, I love you. Remember, shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A step upward. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. More jobs were created last month than expected. The Labor Department says 263,000 jobs were added to the nation's economy in November, which is over the 200,000 that experts had predicted. Job gains in leisure and hospitality helped lead the way last month, along with healthcare and government. The U.S. and French leaders spoke about Russia Thursday at the White House.
Only President Biden laid out conditions. Already, the Russians are saying that is not an option. French President Emmanuel Macron has had a softer approach toward Russia since the beginning of the invasion, in June sparking a new wave of criticism, calling to avoid humiliating Russia, and saying again, as he did in May, that Putin must be given a way out from this historic and fundamental mistake.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show. 93 WIBC.
Gee, hard to believe this didn't resonate with our audience.
Well, it resonated with the rest of the world.
Thank you for nominating the Ramones for the rock band Mount Rushmore. That's what I got tweeted, Rob. And then I got liked by a lot of people.
By a person, right?
Like a couple.
Oh, no, I mean, you got tweeted at by a person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody liked the pick of the Ramones as one of the bands that was influential to other bands.
Yeah, I actually really like Casey's pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you two can just have your little fun together here because you're out on an island all by yourself. So if you missed the show yesterday, Christine McVie died.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of the integral singers, songwriters, etc. from Fleetwood Mac.
Yes.
And so then we got on a conversation about where Fleetwood Mac ranked in terms of, the annals of great rock bands.
Right.
And then that spawned a conversation about if we were to create a Mount Rushmore of great rock bands.
Yeah, we kind of said, okay, we got the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and Led Zeppelin.
Correct.
Universally accepted as
Right. Yeah, I think we were all in agreement on that. And clearly it's not my favorite bands because you know my opinion of the Beatles. But but I live in a world of reality, unlike you two.
Well,
yes, Kevin.
Okay, my choice was Nirvana, and they're not my favorite band either. I wouldn't even put them in like my top 30.
Okay.
Hey, the Ramones aren't one of my favorite bands either. But I think they have a place.
Yeah, exactly, because it's about the most influential bands, and we have to be kind of objective about this.
So we set up 3 standards, and this is what you two, I guess, refused to listen to when we set up the standards.
Do you remember the standards that you set up?
Yes, the standards were longevity, hits, and societal impact.
Yeah.
Now, what you two got hung up on that was ridiculous was a small amount, and by I mean nationwide, worldwide, relative to the population, a small amount of people were uber influenced by, in Kevin's case, Nirvana, and in your case, the Ramones. no dispute that a group of hardcore people were profoundly impacted and influenced by those groups. But relative to the standards we set forth,
you think we missed the mark?
I think because of the longevity issue and the hits issue, that I could not present these by themselves to our audience because we would be laughed out of the. We'd probably future FCC Commissioner Stacey Abrams would likely remove us from the airwaves. And so I said, okay, as the adult in the room here, I'm going to save this proposition to our audience and say you have to pick the fourth person on or band on our Mount Rushmore. And I, throwing you to a bone, said you can have the Ramones, you can have Nirvana as an option, but I'm going to be the adult in the room and say, knowing our audience, you must choose from those two as well as the Eagles, Queen, and Fleetwood Mac.
Now, I think you need to be fair.
Yes.
That I think all three of us said Queen should be on that list.
Yeah.
Don't take complete credit for adding Queen to that list.
No, but you guys were just hung up on these this bizarre. You have some bizarre Nirvana fetish, which is very strange, and I.
Well, you were pushing against it.
You should really try to get to the bottom of that. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, once again, you guys got it all wrong. It's Fleetwood Mac, it's Led Zeppelin, it's Van Halen with David Lee Roth, and it's Bob Seger. That's your Mount Rushmore. Anything else is just wrong. Love you guys. Bye.
Now, this person could not follow the directions, so he's immediately disqualified.
He's adding his own bands to the list. Van Halen, that's a good suggestion. Where were we with that?
Well, it's interesting.
I kind of thought about that, but
it's like the college football playoff list. Eventually, you've got to pick the 6 at-large teams and go with it. And for time constraints, we narrowed it down to the 5 options. Again, I would put Van Halen way ahead of the Ramones or Nirvana. Bob Seger, not a band. Bob Seger, individual.
Right, he didn't even follow the rules.
Yeah, see, so that guy was totally disqualified, but
okay.
I was feeling nice and said we'd include him in the conversation.
Okay.
Follow the rules! What's next?
It has to be the Eagles. Please. I mean, I like the Ramones. Yeah, they're cool.
See?
Nirvana, come on, really? The grunge scene in Seattle, that was almost like disco in my mind. I was glad it was over. We had to put up with it for a while, but oh my gosh, I'm glad the grunge scene is over. As far as influencing other bands from Nirvana, I don't know who you're talking about. Yeah, we know some of them. But, I mean, really, you didn't say Foo Fighters. I'm sure they were influenced by Nirvana. But, hey, they didn't have longevity either. And the Ramones, they're king of punk.
Yeah.
But really, the Eagles are still putting it out.
Okay, I would like to say he was referring to the list of bands that I named off that were influenced by Nirvana.
Yeah.
I realize that most baby boomers are not going to know those bands.
Yeah.
But there are 3 generations that were influenced by Nirvana.
Yeah, I
would
love
be familiar with them, at least some of them.
I love Kevin's thought process because in Kevin's world, hey, I realize a big part of your audience won't know who these people are, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway.
Okay, now let's go back to the Eagles.
Yes.
If we can.
Uh-huh.
Because when we go into the societal impact, yes, Kevin and I maybe dwelled on that aspect too long.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the hits, and you went down that list earlier this morning before we got on the air, and I really... I hate to do it because I do think that the Ramones were influential, but if we go with the hits portion,
they're all
wow,
equal,
that list is just never ending.
Ramones were more influential.
They're equally weighted, and this is where, because Kevin is young and has no life experience, in his little world, whatever might have influenced the people that he might find a way to listen to, and that's fine. As you get older, you'll realize. I mean, Kevin, look, I'm going to read you the Eagles' Greatest Hits, Volume 1. Keep in mind, this does not include Hotel California, which is certainly like
iconic.
I mean, what is it? It's Hotel California, Freebird, Stairway to Heaven, Layla, right? Or the classic rock staples for the past 50 years. Here's Volume 1, which does not include Hotel California. Take It Easy, Witchy Woman, Lion Eyes, Already Gone, Desperado, One of These Nights, Tequila Sunrise, Take It to the Limit, Peaceful Easy Feeling, Best of My Love. If you include Hotel California in that list, I can almost promise you if you leave Q95 and JJK on for 2 hours, don't do that because you want to listen to here. But if you did that, you would hear one of those songs.
Okay, I get it. The Eagles, very prominent band.
Yes.
They're a great band.
You're going to start to annoy me if you continue trying to make the case for Nirvana.
Here's what now I'm talking about Ramones. I guess I can include Nirvana on this too. I'm thinking of like musical movements where people they find this band and then they start dressing like them, they start talking like them.
The freak shows.
There's the attitude thing, the style.
Freak show
I don't think
so if you're
people
gonna dress like the Eagles, you're gonna put on a pair of bell bottoms and some
that,
cowboy boots.
But that wasn't like they're not like responsible for creating that fashion. Like no one's dressing that way because of Don Henley.
Sure. All right.
Maybe they are. I don't know.
What's next?
Let me make this simple. Nirvana, Moans, How about Queen? How about Fleetwood Mac? Those are great bands. They deserve to be in the top 5, period. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Sorry, Casey. Sorry, Kevin.
Okay, now you know what? We did collectively all decide that Queen should be one of the options.
Yeah, sure.
So I totally agree with that. The operatic sound of Queen, and they did break through with a new sort of genre. Although you could say that Queen maybe took a cue from The Who.
Yeah, that's true.
And Tommy Rock opera.
Yeah, but if they're making a movie about you 30 years after your death, like they did with Freddie Mercury, and it's a blockbuster smash, there's some societal impact there.
Yeah, I mean, Queen does have the longevity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been, their songs have been re-released.
Sure.
Many times.
I think by the standard we
They
set.
do have the hits, and the societal impact, I guess Freddie Mercury,
All right, so here's really
You
what
could say that.
I think. Let's try to get one more call, and then I'll say what it comes down to. All right.
Okay.
My personal pick would be the Bee Gees.
Hey!
Not Kate's or Kevin's pick, but yes, Queen also. I'm for Queen, so I say the Bee Gees. Also, Rob, on the quarter, if you notice, In God We Trust, his back is toward the words In God We Trust. Just wanted to let you know that. Thank you. I love you guys. Bye.
Oh, interesting.
Well, she was commenting that Kloppenstein had posted a picture yesterday that the quarter is different now. The 2022
George
quarter
Washington's
is different.
looking the other way.
Right, yeah. All right, one more, and then we'll wrap this up because I think we've really narrowed it down here. Yes.
The Bee Gees.
Yeah, she's disqualified, though. She couldn't follow the rules.
Yeah, because that's just her favorite band.
She, again, we made it
How
very
is
clear.
that not following the rules?
She said that were the Bee Gees on our list? We narrowed it down.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You two sillies wanted to play around with the Ramones and Nirvana, so you took the Bee Gees, and who was the other one that they just Van Halen. So you owe the Bee Gees and Van Halen a giant apology because you wanted to play footsie with the Ramones and Nirvana. Go.
Participate in the conversation about the greatest bands. I haven't heard anyone mention U2. They've been around since the early 80s.
Late 70s.
Sold 100 million albums. Sold out world tours. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty influential in the
hello.
alternative rock world.
Boy, and I love U2. It's one of my all-time favorite bands. I've seen them many, many times.
Then why didn't you pick them? Why did you die on the Ramones hill? All these bands.
I would still take the Ramones over U2.
Because I think you could say that U2 was influenced by the Ramones.
You would put the Ramones ahead of U2.
As one of my personal favorites? No. But as
of the three standards,
again, and I've already come out and said I probably put too much weight on the societal impact portion of the conversation.
This is why we can't let women make decisions.
But as far as longevity and hits go, yeah, you too. That's a good one.
But there's three cogs. There's three things. You too. I just cannot get it through to. Okay, so here's really what it comes down to.
What does it come down? Bottom line this for us, Rob
As
Kendall.
someone who has made great decisions for the masses for many years now, I think by the standard we set forth, which was hits, longevity, and societal impact, you probably have to go with Queen over the Eagles because of the societal impact and the fact that Freddie Mercury, I mean, they're not making movies about the Eagles. No offense to the Eagles.
Right. But
you probably got it by the three-leg. Hits probably go to the Eagles. Longevity certainly goes to the Eagles because obviously Queen.
I don't know.
Well,
I think they're probably tied on that one.
But they broke up. I mean, the Queen obviously with the death of Freddie Mercury, and they were out of commission for a
you
while.
meant longevity of the band.
Yeah.
I thought you meant longevity of the music, like how long.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Oh.
You should have used better words there.
He's changing the rules, isn't he, Kevin?
Yeah, I think you're just changing the rules as you're going off.
I think I'm going with Queen.
Yeah.
I think I'm going with Queen.
I think that's a good choice.
Yeah. I think.
Have we determined it? Is it official?
This meeting has been dismissed.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show. Top stories of the day and beer sample Friday. Abdul, Dan Dockich. We got a show. 3 to 7, 93 WIBC.
Hey, we're pretty social people at WIBC. You can find us all over social media. See what we're up to on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We're never more than just away. Just search for 93 WIBC.
Helzberg Diamonds presents the holy grail of engagement rings. Michael was getting engaged and needed a ring, but not just any ring, the engagement ring. The kind that when he saw it, he'd just know. So Michael looked around online, asked friends for advice.
I want a ring that's special. One that's, You
gotta go to Helzberg.
Michael went to Helzberg Diamonds, where he found an incredible selection of beautiful rings, settings, and both lab-grown and natural diamonds, certified and guaranteed to be of the highest quality. He also met Sarah, a Helzberg diamond expert, who helped him find that special ring he was looking for, so that when his fiancée opened the box...
Wow, it's...
Yep, sounds right to me. Be like Michael. Find the engagement ring of her dreams at a Helzberg store near you or online at Helzberg.com. And right now at Helzberg Diamonds, take advantage of special financing offers.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hi, this is Malia with Family Heating and Air, and as a mom myself, I know it's really important to keep the kiddos healthy. Air quality, humidity, those are super big issues on my concern list. If you share any of these concerns, give family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Rob. After years of struggling with thinning hair, I was ready to grow my hair back. That's why I went to We Grow Hair Indie. Here's Darren Andrews to tell you more.
For over 20 years, we've been restoring hair for men and women with every type of hair loss and every ethnicity. No matter the reason for your hair loss, we're here to help. And our friend Rajiv Ram, two-time Olympian and tennis professional, can attest to this.
I wanted more hair, and they have the best technology there is for it. We Grow Hair Indie cared about me and did exactly what they said they would. The results have been amazing.
With We Grow Hair Indie's trademarked multi-unit hair grafting, I got more hair with a single procedure. People tell me all the time how great my hair looks, and yours can too. Call now for your free evaluation and grow your hair back. Call 888-724-5129. That's 888-724-5129. Or go to WeGrowHairIndie.com, the gold standard in hair restoration.
The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, podcasts. Listen to the station live whenever, wherever, online at WIBC.com. I'd rather be folding laundry.
It's gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Bear Traffic.
Backups are already
On
starting.
93 WIBC.
I'll be so blue. Just thinking
Okay. We wanted everybody to go out feeling good about themselves. It's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the Christmas season, early December, and I wanted to play for everyone a feel-good announcement, Casey, because I know you are very into when people demand how they want to be addressed,
Mhm.
the pronouns, right?
However, the rules keep changing. Even if you use the correct pronoun,
Yes.
sometimes it's still not correct.
Yeah, this is some lady on TikTok,
Mhm.
and not that appearance matters, but she appears to have, what do they call that? The bridge of her nose is pierced, some dyed hair. Kevin, you hang out with these sort of people. They probably
Is that just
populate-
called a nose ring?
No, it's not a nose ring. It's
Or a
in your
septum-
nose. Well,
septum
she's got
ring?
it's like the bridge of her nose here, in between her eyes is pierced,
Mhm.
and it does look like she has a nose piercing in the nostrils.
Bull ring.
Yeah, and then she's got several things on her ears, and I'm guessing many other body piercings. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I've may or may not have had many pleasant encounters over the years with people who have a variety of piercings. We don't lump everybody together, but I will say that what you're about to hear does meet the appearance of the person. Go ahead.
Just some food for thought. But if you ask me my pronouns and I say I use any pronouns and you only use she, her, you're a loser. Is it really that hard to call me a he now and then? I'm not saying it has to be a regular thing, but a nice crisp little he, him, they, them moment every month wouldn't hurt you. I am gender fluid. It doesn't matter if I wear makeup. It doesn't matter if I decide I want to look cis today. It doesn't matter. I'm still gender fluid. I'm not a woman every single day. And quite frankly, most of the time I'm a mix of the two. I'm the man. My slang just like my titties do.
Wow, good job, Kevin. You earned your paycheck on that one. Wow.
So do you understand now?
She wants to be called she, he, they, them.
And I guess you got to guess.
It depends. Some days she's not a woman all day long.
Right, correct.
I just want to be clear on something. I'm
Yes.
a woman all day long,
Okay.
100% of the time,
Yeah.
24/7, 365.
Uh-huh. Kevin, you speak the language of these young people. Do you have any idea what in the hell that woman was talking about?
I guess I would be confused on like when
Yes,
to call her.
thank
Like
you.
when is she feeling like a man or
Yeah,
what she
exactly.
prefers?
How would
Like,
we know? She was not he, she,
they,
them was not clear.
Mm-hmm.
How I'm supposed to know when they're.
It would be kind of exhausting to play the guessing game.
Right. Can you imagine if that was your, I guess, girlfriend, maybe a boyfriend, on a consistent basis?
Partner, love interest.
Like, do you wake up in the morning and say, what would you like to be called today?
How are you feeling today?
Right, exactly.
You're feeling, and I understand that there are times that you can feel more masculine or more feminine
Mm-hmm.
versus other times, but yeah. Okay.
I have a question for both of you, and this was not what we agreed to discuss, but it just dawned on me that I have to do this today, and I need some advice on this if I've committed a party foul here. So I have a friend who said, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. I'd like to get together, for a beverage this afternoon. I said, sure,
Yeah,
that'll be
that's
fine.
nice.
He said, I have a buddy who's a big fan of yours. He's a local government official. He would like to meet you as well. I said, great, fine, bring him. It'll be fine. It's not Nick Fuentes, so
Record it.
Yeah, in a public place.
Yeah.
And I said, that's fine. He said, okay, I'll send a calendar invite. Now, my calendar's all in my head, so usually that works out just fine. But he sent a calendar invite. I, of course, did not look at the calendar invite. And then this morning, I had looked at the calendar invite to confirm the time.
Yeah.
And the time was correct.
Did you forget to hit accept or
No, I
decline?
think I accepted. I think
Okay.
everybody was on board.
Okay.
But then I realized he had etched out like 3 hours in this meet and greet. And I just texted him because he had texted me this morning. He said, hey, are we still on for it? And I said, yes. But I said, I absolutely am not giving you 3 hours of my time. I said, you have 1 hour. Did I commit a foul because I had technically accepted the invite without looking at the invite in which he had blocked off 3 hours? But then I told him, I'm not giving you 3 hours because that's ridiculous. We can accomplish everything we need to accomplish in 1 hour.
No, I think that's good. You're upfront about it and you're setting expectations.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Let him know.
Yeah.
Hey.
I thought maybe he just did that accidentally. Like I'm just holding 3 hours as a placeholder. But I thought
that could have been it. Maybe it was just drive time for him.
But I wanted to be very clear.
He's clearing his schedule, not yours.
We are not hanging out for 3 hours. You have 1 hour. I have many things to accomplish this evening.
But I think you need to be open to it, though, Rob, because if you do have the time and you're having a nice conversation and a sparkling conversation, maybe it will go 3 hours.
I don't think there's any person I'd want to hang out with for 3 hours.
Except for me.
Well, yeah, I've hung out with you for 3 hours.
Oh, wait a minute.
before.
You're getting paid to do that.
Yeah, what about an extended mentorship?
No, Kevin,
session?
That's why it lasts an hour. Everything we need to get accomplished, we can get accomplished in 1 hour. Now, if you went somewhere like when you came over to my house, we were watching a ball game together.
Right, we were watching football.
So we did not have to converse the entire time. We had the ball game as the sort of the middleman in terms of the entertainment.
Right.
So I did not have to have a conversation with you. I'm also going to have a conversation with the stranger, which I'm pretty good at those. That's fine. But it was just like I'm not committing 3 hours to that.
I also left at halftime, so I wasn't there to the bitter end.
No, but you could have stayed because the ball game was serving as the buffer for us.
Right. Right. And I did leave at halftime, and that's when they started losing.
Yeah, you cost Notre Dame the game, and as we've clearly seen throughout the rest of the season, they were a phenomenally talented squad, and it was your jinxing them by leaving at halftime.
Yeah, it was me. It was all my fault. It has nothing to do with a rebuilding year.
No, it's fine.
Or any of that.
Okay, well, I just, like I said, I just wanted to get some life advice if I'd committed a foul here, but all parties seemed agreeable that was fine.
Okay, so people really have a question for you, Rob, because you are off on Monday.
Yeah.
You are taking day one of your 1,000 vacation days that you saved until the very end of the year. Thanks for doing that, so you can line them all up in a row.
Yes.
Do you have plans on Monday? Are you going to do anything? You've got a long weekend now. We know you don't like to leave the country.
Yeah.
Will you leave the county?
Oh, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to be in the YouTube chat commenting on all the mistakes you guys are making under an assumed name.
I dare you. I dare you. And you know what's going to happen? Block. 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 Well, I hope you enjoy your day off.
Thank you.
Thank you, and good job, Kevin. Thank you, and thank you for listening. We're going to count on you to be back here Monday with Kendall and Casey, and mostly Casey, on 93 WIBC.
Crew Car Wash books make the perfect holiday gift, and right now buy 4...